Hello, and welcome to our very latest episode of the Night Shift Let's Talk Gaming. I am CMoney, and I am joined by the always lovely Doodle.
What's up, everyone? Happy Friday. Thank you so very much for rocking out with us tonight. Let's get it.
Let's get it indeed. Now, it's Friday night, guys. That means we done did it. We made it to the end of the week. We are here. The weekend is ahead of us. It's a glorious time to be alive, man. We got so much news going on. I love myself a good debunking, all right? And debunking is what we're going to talk about tonight because, listen, we knew going into the big news there was some large amounts of information that was going to happen that was supposed to be very bad, but it didn't turn out that bad. And now we got some other follow-ups that seemed like it was really bad, but now it turns out it's really not that bad. We're going to talk about it. But before we do any of that, you know we're not alone tonight. No, we're not alone tonight. That's right. We have our homie. You know him well. He is the wise one, the author, the patriot, the pony slayer, and the pony volunteer maker. It's our boy, Hori. Welcome, my dude. How you doing, man? Thank you for being here, brother.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, been pretty busy, but outside of that, you know.
Busy
There's also lots of news going on.
I hear you.
I know, right? It's crazy.
Always lots of news going on. Obviously, we haven't gotten to talk about a lot of the news that broke because it happened on Monday, and today is Friday. So, was it Monday or Tuesday or what?
It was Monday.
Yeah. Monday, I believe.
Oh, yeah, Monday. So, yes, so we're definitely going to discuss all the juiciness of it. But before we hop into that, you guys know how we do here, man. We have to shout out our homies who are live in the building with us, man. Thank you guys for rocking out with us. We appreciate you all for being here. And of course, we want to shout out everybody who supports us over on Patreon and YouTube as members. You guys are awesome. Specifically, we want to shout out our YouTube elite members. That's right. We have the homie Dark Angelic, Queen Witch, and Broke Boy. And then we have our inner circle members, the homie Pragmatic Eagle, Hargy Chani, and Marvelous Marvin. Shout out to you guys. Thank you all for the support. We really, really do truly appreciate it. Now, of course, you know how we do here, man. You guys live in the building right now. You guys are supporting us in such a major way, man. And we appreciate each and every one of y'all for rocking out with us tonight and sharing your time with us, man. It's going to be a fun night for sure. You guys are all so very special to us. Very, very, very special. You guys are the most special people on the internet. Right, baby? They're the specials.
The specials.
They are. That's what you just do.
Bad Bunny, Bad Bunny.
And that Bad Bunny. I don't know where this. I don't know where did Bad Bunny come from? Why?
He's always there, babe. He's always there.
He's always there. Got it. What I was trying to allude to, my love, is that they're also special, right?
Oh, I thought this was about Bad Bunny. My bad, player. They are, especially if they listen to Bad Bunny. You know what I mean?
What? No, it's for listening to us.
Nueva York.
Wow. I don't know if this should I don't know if I should be concerned, okay, by the amount of Bad Bunny conversation taking place so early in the evening.
It just comes naturally, babe. It goes to the flow. You know?
Does it? I don't think it has anything to do with anything.
Maybe we didn't talk about Bad Bunny enough throughout the day, and it's just all coming out now. You know what I mean?
Okay, well, I think what we're going to do is we're going to take little bunny.
Little Bunny?
We're going to take him, and we're going to put him in a box, okay? Small box.
Okay.
Put him on the side.
All right, that's wild.
Then we're going to smash the box. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, tell us how you feel. Tell us how you feel.
Listen.
It's wild.
Another reason that they're special is because they're here with us. But not everybody can be the same special, right, Doodle?
Some are more special than others. You know, Bad Bunny special.
Oh my God.
I'm joking.
Oh my God. But they got she doesn't have her image over there. About to go in and stab her. The hell, Jesus! You know what we're saying, okay? Not all of you are the same special. You're all special, but not the same special. That's because 3 of you have risen above the rest.
Yes.
You guys are the specials of the evening. How did you do that? I'll tell you very, very simply. Okay, 3 of you, you went ahead. We went live. We put up that on-point bat signal. You saw it and said, holy mother of Batman, we need to be in that building. And in the building you guys were the first 3. The first 3 people who stepped foot in the building. Now, the real question.
To watch Bad Bunny?
God.
Shout out to Arcane. Let's go. Let's go.
This is wild. This is wild. Who knew that the abuse will come from so many directions? You know,
that was awesome.
They say it comes from the ones closest. Holy mother. No, not Bad Bunny. Okay, nothing to do with Bad
Oh my God.
Bunny.
That
Okay,
was epic.
they came in
Let's go.
to not watch Bad Bunny or talk about Bad Bunny or hear the name Bad Bunny. They came to be here live in the building with us. They were the first 3 people. Now, the real question is, who are these people?
Bad Bunny?
No.
Oh, who?
Number 3. Number 3, live in the building, is our homie, our girl, Becca in the building. All right, J-Fan 05, thank you so much for being here. You're number 3 in the building. You done did it. You're one of the specials of the evening. Can't believe this lady. Oh my God. Not you, Becca. You're doing the right thing. Okay. This other stuff is blasphemy. All right. Oh my God. Number 2 in the building. You guys know him well. It's our homie. It's our pal, some would say. Pal Xbox for life.
Let's go.
Shout out to the homie. Number 2 in the building. He's not messing around. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you for rocking with us. But the real question, the real number 1, okay, the real number 1, the real best bot of the night, that goes to our boy, Mother effing Dark Angelic. He's not messing around. Shout out to Dark Angelic. He says, F them ponies. F them ponies indeed. That is the most truth that can possibly exist at any one moment in time, delivered to you by Dark Angelic and not by Bad Bunny. Okay? Dark Angelic, giver of truth. Bad Bunny.
Is that Sony's new motto?
Oh, which one? F them ponies.
F them ponies.
Yo,
is that their new motto?
That's the new campaign. That's the new marketing campaign.
You know what's funny? I was debating on putting it on the thumbnail. But I felt like as an Xbox, like the most exciting thing is the Xbox debunking stuff. But man, does PlayStation have some cojones?
Oh my God, there's
we
more?
might talk about that as the we might talk about it as the member topic at the end. We'll see. But man, they're crazy. They're crazy. Anyway, let me get Dark Angelic in here. Bam. Thank you guys. Appreciate you. You guys are the specials of the evening.
That's right.
Spots
That's right.
of the nights. Let me go over here. Of course, look at the homie Mac 22 star 4 back with the official first super chat. Thank you, my brother, for being here. Thank you for that $2 super chat. Says she is so leaving you for him.
That's wild.
She has to be able to leave the house. You know what I'm saying? I'd be throw away those keys. You know what I'm saying?
Bad Bunny will just buy the house.
Oh damn! I would sell the house. That's true.
Then you have to leave. See, damn. Look at him thinking of a way around it. That's wild. It's wild. See, No, just a fan of his music and acting.
What acting?
What do you mean what act? See, that's the thing. That's what differentiates us both. You're not a true Bad Bunny fan.
Listen, by factual numbers,
Mhm.
if you're gonna call a spade, I'm definitively more a fan than you are.
All right, see. All
On the
right,
number
here we go
side
with
of
the
it.
nonsense.
But I'm not gonna be
Huggy,
talking
how was
about-
your 4 de Julio, 4th of July?
Oh my god. Nobody
us,
even knows
Huggy.
that reference, Doodle. Okay?
He knows.
Nobody knows.
He knows.
4th of July.
No. God damn it. Okay, how you doing? How was your 4th of July? Per Doodle.
It was fun. It's just more like relaxing, I guess. But
Yeah.
whatever. So
Wait,
you
hold
know,
up.
my
Real
uncle,
quick,
right, we
Huggy,
had his
what
service.
kind of weather
on
did you
4th of
guys
July,
get?
so-
Wait.
It was
It's
hot.
Not a great 4th of
It,
July.
it was hot. It was hot.
I can't hear him, babe.
Service was on 4th of July.
Oh, Huggy,
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it is what it is, right? But yeah, and it was the room wasn't exactly fully air. It was like not sealed, but it was air conditioned a bit. It was very warm. And then we ate outside afterwards, and it was, oh my god, it was like 90 something. It was pretty bad.
That sounds bad.
Man.
Well,
Yeah.
it also did it rain? It rained like crazy by you afterwards, right?
It did rain a little bit later. Thankfully, it didn't rain like during that part. It was
During it.
kind of in the morning. So, but yeah, but later it did, and it came down quite a bit, which is good, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. But that's why it was so hot. Like that's why it was suffocating
Yeah.
levels of hot
It
because it
did.
was being choked up. But once it did that full release on us,
There was so much rain. There was
It just-
hailing in other places.
Yeah.
Like it was crazy.
yeah, it just kind of released fully on everybody, and then now it's back to normal heat, not death defying heat. You know what I'm saying? It's not that bad. Well, let me get back 22. I'm updating this real quick. Bam. Yep. Done. Lovely. Beautiful. Save that. Go there. That is saved. Go here. Go there. Okay. Beautiful.
Way to walk us through, see.
I gotta, keep everybody posted on how it's going down, right? That's how we do. All right. Before we get into anything, let's say what's up to the homies
Yes.
who are here with us live. I see the homie Power Boss in the building. Shout out to you, man. Appreciate you, homie. E Ranks, what's going on, player? He did not rank in the top 3 today. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
The name is just, it makes you feel like he would rank because it's E Ranks, but like he did not rank. You should add
He
did not.
unranked.
He unranked. You should put like the in between every time you can't make the top 3. I feel like that's just keeping it a buck for everybody. You know what I'm saying? I see Broke Boy in the building. What's up, man? Thank you for being here. Dusty Uno,
Yo.
what's up, man? Thank you for coming through, man. Appreciate you, homie. Good to see you. Fillmore Pockets in the building. What's up?
Fillmore
man?
Pockets. What's up, bro?
I see Cage El Vampiro Borracho.
Mm.
Never change that name, man. I know you're the cunning.
He's
one.
always borracho.
I think he's always borracho. I mean, that's just the way. Eric Von Eric was going on, player. Game Shark in the building. Twinkle, twinkle,
Twinkle,
baby.
twinkle,
What's
baby.
going on, man? Snooky Jackson, what's going on, fam? Of course, Mac in the building. Queen Witch, holy moly. How you doing, Queen Witch?
Queen Witch, what's good?
Oh, look, see, I appreciate that. Dark Angelic says, I'd abuse CMoney too, but that would just be piling on. You
Wow.
see?
Wow.
Sometimes there's a level that doesn't need to be crossed. And Dark Angelic saw that and said, we're not going to go there.
Huggy and I got it. No problemo.
Facts. You know what's so funny? Cowboy, what's up, man? Thank you for being here, homie. Appreciate you. He says he just sold 225,000 shares of Sony stock. I
Oh,
think I'm rich, right? You know what's the craziest thing? The fact that I don't know if you guys know, we didn't really talk about it again because it is what it is. We might throw it into that session later, but he sold all those stock right before announcing the disc, no more physical joint, because he knew everything was going to go to crap. But the fact that he sold 225,000 shares and he only made like $4 million.
that's crazy.
It's
I mean, because
crazy.
listen, he should have done it with Jimmy Jim.
He should have did it with Jimmy Jim. Jimmy Jim was good.
Yeah.
He does not have.
Who else misses Jim?
I miss Jim.
I miss Jim.
We need Jim back.
Hashtag free Jim Ryan.
Hashtag free Jim Ryan. Bring him back to what's his good name? To Totoboki? He doesn't even talk
Hiroki
anymore.
Totoki.
Now it's Nishina or whatever his name is.
I did love when Hiroki was out here dropping the hammer, though. Like, yo, we broke. Hammer drop. Yo, they don't know money. Hammer drop.
Facts. Look at Jim. Look at Jim. He's just so happy.
Yo, Jimmy Jim. Look at that.
Those were the good old days. Those were the good old days.
Man.
Ren in the building. How you doing, homie? Appreciate you. Otogi Gamer. How you doing, fam? Thank you.
Togi was good.
We got APIMB in the building. What's going on, my dude? Negan? I was Negan. Like you ain't got no knees. You know what I'm saying?
What? Knees gone?
Negan. No, that's the homie Negan or Negan. Damn it. Negan, can you just let us know how's it supposed to be? All right. Just tell us in the chat. Be like, hey.
You don't know where that came from? It is Negan. It's they were talking about a game on ILP, and they mentioned one of the factions being the Negans. And then King took that to a whole new level, and you can guess where that went. What's the other N word?
Oh.
What? Why?
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
That
hold me with the camera back on. I just put on Jim's smiling face there.
Is
but
quite
yeah.
Quite a scenario. Good to know. Good to know. Negan.
Yep.
How did that happen? Oh God. All right.
Yeah.
Well, good to know. Good to know. All right. Well,
Kind of add some context to to what that is, but anyway.
Oh yeah. No. I mean,
boy, the chat had so much fun with that one. You can see all
I can only imagine. Okay, I can only imagine the hysteria.
And I had fun with it too, of course. They then decided that they'd only read them if it was over $10 or $20, for the super chat. And I'm like, oh, wait. How are you gonna charge Negan more?
Oh my God.
Oh my God. That's wild.
That's really crazy.
It was so good.
That's really wild. Heartbeat. You guys apparently had a good time. All right. You had a good time with all those other Negans. It's like,
oh yeah, we did.
It's a fun time. It's a fun time for
yes,
sure.
us Negans had some fun.
Negans had some fun. This Negan right here is crazy. Y'all wildin'. Oh my God. It looks like Powerballs came up with a new name for E-Rank's ejected rank.
Oh, damn. Okay.
So, I think that works. I think that's a good name for him. Anonymous Boss in the building. What's up?
What's good?
Thank you for being here. Sebastian, what's up, man? How's it going? Yeah, this is wild. Honestly, I did not know that was going to be the name or why the name existed. But that's good times. Good to know. All right, good to know. All right, let's get to it. Let's get to it. Okay. Where's my hold on. Let me get my first one lined up over here. All right. Okay. I have it here. Straight from the horse's mouth. Not the pony, the horse. Okay. So I have this. Let me get my chapter. Let me take my chapter.
Wow, a song.
I don't know how you compete with Negan. That sounds epic. Oh my God. All right. All right, I have my chapter. We are good to go. All right. So, guys, as you know, there was quite the stir of emotions this week when Xbox came out and announced the layoffs that were taking place. And there was a lot of I would say added layers of crap that made things sound worse because there was what she said, what Asha said when she did her breakdown. We talked about it, obviously, but then there was all the other layers that were introduced. And there's basically two sets of debunks that are happening right now. One is the media, the mainstream media, like the news were reporting on Xbox some wild stuff. So Xbox came out and stopped that conversation. But then one of the other ones that I think is the most relevant right now because a brand new game just dropped from them. It's not a brand new game, but brand new large scale DLC just dropped. And that is with id Software, right? So the folks at ID, we know they got hit pretty hard with layoffs. That being said, a lot of people, I would say that there was a lot of different versions of how it came out, but the people who were fired, right, were coming out talking hella crap, right? Like just saying that Doom is done. They're going to be a support studio. They can't do anything at this level. How can they do it? Blah, blah, blah. Xbox is horrible. And then you have, just the outlets that were doubling down on that and just how, they were gutted. And then you got players, who are posting videos of the awesome Doom the Dark Ages Revelations DLC saying, look at how good they did. And they chose them to get rid of. So there's a whole bunch that was kind of wrapped up in the id Software conversation, but it turns out, yes, they did get hit pretty hard, but not to a support studio level. In fact, we found out that they got knocked back down to the level they were when they made Doom 2016.
Okay.
So it went from, they're done, they're cooked, how can they ever make a game, to them going ahead and making, going back to a place where they made Doom 2016. And that's arguably was like the best one that they made in recent times, right? And I mean, a lot of people feel that way. I don't know if I would call it the best one personally. I think I like some of I think Dark Ages might be my favorite so far, but point is that that's what they are. So id Software had to come out themselves to say it. Again, we're all about the facts here, and we have the facts. You can hear good over there, baby girl?
Yes.
Okay. So here is the actual tweet from id Software. Okay. Negan, my Negan says, you telling me CMoney they got fat? Listen, my Negan, they gained those pounds. Okay. They gained them pounds. Actually, this is the most freeing thing ever in my life right now. By the way, guys, I love this Negan thing. I'm running with this hard. All right. I'm Puerto Rican from the hood. So do the math and my Negans. You know what I'm saying? My Negans. So my Negan, yes, you telling me somebody they got fat? They did. You know why? As we think about it, right? And we'll read this in a second, but just if I'm just going off on what you just said, I like 2016 Doom was fantastic, right? It was very, very, very good. And although these games got progressively better in my mind, like with my experience of having played them. I mean, could they not have done the same? Because I don't feel like the games got like so big, right? Like I think they just, were different and added some things, but I don't know. I feel like that team, I feel like that's the core, that number is around the core number. Now, who got fired, things like that's a different question. But id Software has this message. We're going to talk about it together right now. A message from id. Thank you all for the support this week. While our studio was impacted, those changes were spread across teams. We still have the crew we need to build the games and tech that we're known for. The team today is about the same size we were when making Doom 2016. We have always had a flat studio where everyone is a maker, and we will remain true to that philosophy moving forward. We are focused on supporting each other and the team members impacted. We're going to keep building the great games and tech that have defined us for the past 35 years. And we're looking forward to seeing you at QuakeCon this August. Straight from the horse's mouth, guys. They just told you they made Doom 2016 with this size of a team. They didn't get impacted. One department was gone. The tech team didn't get nuked. The art team didn't get nuked. Everything was spread across everywhere. They trimmed the fat, as my Negan said. He told y'all they trimmed the fat. That's exactly what has happened here. I mean, look, ultimately, if they were able to pull off Doom 2016, I would say they are far from dead. They are far from a support studio. Okay. I think at the end of the day, this is the way Xbox looks at it, is about bringing these studios to a healthy place.
Yeah.
Where they can, because I mean, this is what I would say. The team grew from 2016. The games maybe got slightly bigger, right? But the sales didn't get bigger.
Yes.
Right? At least it didn't get dramatically bigger. It didn't the amount of scale sales didn't scale with the team size.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So
exactly.
I mean, at that point, you gotta do something. You know what I'm saying? Negan says they basically added the 14 layers that Asha needed to get rid of.
Technically.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, just this alone, because we do have a message from John Carmack that we do want to bring in as well. But before we jump into him, just id coming out here, standing on business. What do you guys think? I mean, is Doom dead? Is id Software kaput?
I mean, it doesn't sound like it. Like you said, see, it kind of just, it depends on who left, right? And you could only imagine that they brought in new talent in time, right? In this whole time, they brought in new talent, and the talent that they did have has evolved, right? Because we've seen the difference, and so moving forward, they should be able to manage and make a modern Doom, just with a smaller team. They do sound extremely confident in the idea that she went into each department, right, and kind of slimmed it down. So they kind of trimmed the fat, and they seem, sometimes these situations bring people kind of together and tighter, and the work is cleaner, right? And so they rely on each other more and work better together. Not to mention that when a situation like this happens, you kind of are in a higher appreciation for the position that you're in, considering the fact that so many people were let go, right? And so you excel at something that maybe felt a bit more tedious, or a bit more like, a routine, right? A spark of interest kicks in, and you tend to do work better under those circumstances. So again, they sound very confident and excited to move forward. They brought up the people that were let go. Other than like, knowing if there's something open somewhere and kind of helping them with that or continuing in any type of outside relationship. I don't see how they can possibly help in the situation that they're in. But yeah, I mean, as long as they move forward, I don't think this is something where obviously Ash is gonna be like, well, we're done with that. With that IP, you're gonna go and support something else. The whole point is to clean the house and kind of have more direct focus, and also making sure that there are not so many people that people are just blaming each other for something, that there should be an assigned person to go ahead and be able to give answers to her about what took place there, right? So this cuts out the he said, she said, smaller team, more focus, better work.
Bars. I agree. I mean, I think that's, there's something about a smaller team that lets you have more impact with each department, right? So like the people who are working have a little more pride in the work they're doing because their work means more to the overall landscape of the game.
Exactly.
It's easier to have discussions with a group of people that you can fit in one room and know everybody's name and have some accountability, as you said, baby. I mean, it's clear that although it's sad for the people who had to go. And look, I know they had a lot of, old heads who got let go, but think about that for a second, right? Let's do a group thought process here on this. As cool as it is to have somebody who's been doing it for 27 years in the building, right? Don't you think that sometimes having that person there can stifle creativity?
Yep, 100%. That old mentality can hold you back and box you in.
Yeah, like new ideas get taken to them and they're like, are you stupid? That's not going to work. That's not what we do here. Get out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I get that mentality 100%. Yeah. And I mean, obviously, fresher minds, younger minds have a little bit of a better perspective of what the younger generation would want. Obviously, you still got to respect the IP, but sometimes, based on a lot of the things we've seen, people are very stuck in their ways. It's difficult for them to let go or move forward. And maybe this is something that's necessary. It's not just about like accountability, but on the flip side of that is a moment to like shine more and be able to have your work be more directed to you, as in I was the one who did this. We were the ones who did this. When you have a broader group, a bigger group, you sit there and it's like the work that was done is spread between a lot more people and you're not as seen. So I think this is going to make them stronger, in my opinion.
I agree. I will say this. Another thing is, when you have those old heads who are working there for so long, you got to remember those people, they're the makers, right? Like they were there from almost the beginning, right? Like they never had time to become fans without being the people behind the game. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Like there are people who work there now because they love Doom
100%
as fans.
Exactly.
And as players who grew up playing it, they have a different perspective than the people who were making it this whole time.
You're too attached to the idea. And so you can't pull back and look at it from a player's perspective. You're more of a protector of what you've created. And it's hard, just kind of like how Asha came in, right? For her, it's a lot easier to see what's working and what's not, whereas Phil, it was more of a too close to home, right? For him, letting these people go was probably non-negotiable. Like, here, we're not taking these steps, or we can't close these studios, or we can't let these studios go. This is what we worked for, right? Rather than, like you mentioned before, we got a lot more people in, we're spending a lot more money, but the IP is not selling the same, which is not selling more, which means that the same group of people that were fans of the IP or fans of Doom are still the same people showing up. Is not reaching out much, right? And so you need to justify that. You can't just be big for the sake of being big. If the formula worked before, then it should be working now without that extra baggage. But I agree with you. There is a thing where the old heads kind of hold back a situation, and you need to move forward, and sometimes with new people.
I agree. I think that fundamentally, that's the thing that's going to be something that people are going to ignore in this situation. Because, of course, everybody goes directly to the Xbox bad, right? How dare Asha? How dare she?
Yeah.
But you know what's funny? No matter what Xbox does, they get hit the same way, because people get upset if you release, let somebody go and they didn't release a game yet, or you cancel a game before it comes out. You didn't give it a chance, right?
It
did not suffer that fate.
It did not.
It released another game. They released Doom: The Dark Ages. They released Revelations. Now, Revelations, let's call a spade, it is dope, but it's not an actual revelation. Like, it's not going to change the landscape.
It's not going to bring in new players. For the franchise. Kind of like, oh my God, look at what they've done.
Have it
exactly.
But the point is that you see Doom, and it did, like, obviously, let's be clear. It's so, the other games sold, right? Doom Eternal, I think, sold pretty good as well. It's just Dark Ages, I think, did not sell as well. And I think if you think about what Dark Ages did, its kind of selling point, and maybe the selling point was what made it backfire. I don't know. But the kind of selling point was, hey, we have all of these accessibility features in here.
Yeah.
Where you can change the speed of the game, slow it down. We have this, shield system that is more, a little more defensive focus instead of offensive, right? They try to change that with the DLC, going from the shield to the spear,
which are really cool features. But
like I think their rationale was like, okay, the reason we're not growing is because we're too hardcore.
Yeah, so they try to make it more inclusive, but maybe what they loved about the game, the hardcore loved the fact that it was so raw and so aggressive.
And and maybe the casual people just already have decided that Doom is not for them, right?
That's a tough situation to be in.
Is not going to be,
and I give them
game.
I give them so many props for adjusting. Right? That's such a big deal to have a smooth transition where you are, because it didn't take away. You're just adding to it, right? So
they literally changed from the difference between the games fundamentally is that the shield made it more of a defensive game than an offensive game. Now, could you ignore the shield? Yes, theoretically, but also a lot of the features
are there. That's the problem. But you could. It doesn't change that for you.
Doesn't want to have to do that.
Pick and choose because it's adjusting to someone else.
And I think at a certain point, this kind of goes along with, if we roll this in, and I'm not trying to get into that conversation, but if you roll it into the idea of the exclusives, right? It's like, a lot of games went over there to PlayStation, but they didn't care. Right, because that's not their audience, right? If they wanted these games, they would have bought an Xbox for it type deal, right?
100%.
So that's kind of where Doom is. Is like Doom was exclusively for hardcore players, and they were like, "All right, let's open it up.
Why mess with the formula?"
For other people to jump in, but they made it less desirable for the old people.
And that's the thin line, because I gotta give them props though. Yeah, but I gotta give them props though. It's not an easy thing to do. They got bigger and for the most part better. Having options is a great thing, but you take the risk. It's like that Final Fantasy, right, where it didn't feel they try to become a little bit more modern for the people, the new gen that likes, you know, the more modern RPG. And it's like you messed with the fans that you already had there and they weren't okay with it. So this is a thin line to kind of dance. The hardcore wants to feel like if you're playing something raw and abrasive, that you're not messing with that because you're this badass that's supposed to go ahead and not have shortcuts, right? I don't know. I thought they did it well, but I can understand from that perspective. To me, it's like, okay, don't
we're
use
not
the
the
feature.
hardcore. You know
Exactly.
what I'm saying? So for us, we're like, okay, cool. Now we can get in and play it more. I mean, I played the other ones and they were good too, but like this made it a little more, you know, I don't know, a little more easier, I guess is the answer.
Well, okay, 89 Daryl says, I hated the damn shield. See, so it's not for everyone, but you know, I guess it didn't invite enough players in, new players.
Yeah.
And I think that's when you do something like this, that's the whole goal, right? Let's bring in.
And I think that now they can go back to focusing on the hardcore with no worries, because now the answer is we tried it already.
Yes, I mean, it is something, and that's such a big deal, because if you didn't try it, it will always be in the back of your head, kind of like, could we be bigger and better if we just adjust to bring in a bigger crowd,
and
right?
Maybe that's how Xbox feels with exclusives again.
Because exactly,
it's like, hey, we did it, and it didn't really change too much, so maybe it doesn't matter either way.
Well, I think there's a balance, right? When you piss off the core and they're not there as loyally as they were before, but you have new people and you're still stuck in that same place, you know,
I think loyalty has been tested a lot.
I agree.
This generation,
100%.
And you know, I think everybody takes for granted and thinks that the people who are supporting them will support them no matter what.
Yeah.
And I think everybody is learning that that's not true.
I mean, it's a huge wake-up call. We say it all the time ourselves. We speak with our wallets, right? And if you go ahead, I mean, let's not act like we don't know how emotional these players can be, right? And so if they're upsetty-wetty, then obviously they're not going to show up. For me, if you're delivering with the box and you're delivering with the games, I don't care what you do or where you put your games, because that's not going to do a damn thing to me. But some people were not having it, right? And the same thing with this. To me, it's kind of like, okay, well, don't use the shield. But some people do not even want that option there. And it's kind of like the same thing we see with characters, right? It's like, why does it have to be you know, this race or a female or this or that? And it's like, you're playing a game. It should be about the game, the story, the gameplay. Like, it should, why does it have to do with anything other than that? If it fits the way that the character is supposed to be for who the character is, then that should be enough. But
you would think. But that being said, let's get the homie Hargi into this. But before we do that, of course, we have our mother effing homie, our boy Ryuar Gaming. Shout out to our boy Ryuar, man. Y'all know what to do.
Tell them, baby.
Put the mother effing welcome to the family emojis in the chat. Welcome our newest members. We appreciate each and every one of y'all for rocking out with us. And of course,
Ryuar, thank you so much, bro.
Ryuar, man.
He gifted 10
brother.
OnPoint
10 OnPoint gamer memberships, man. Appreciate you, my dude. Shout out.
Thank you, bro.
Ryuar, man. Go ahead in the chat. Put the emojis in there. Let them know what you feel about them.
Let me see.
Shout out to our boy Ryuar. Let me update this banner. All right. Hargi, again, we're gonna go into John Carmack's talk after, but just what they're doing and your thoughts on this whole thing of their situation at id and why Xbox did what they did to them, and is Xbox the devil? Does it make sense? What do you think?
There's a lot of other context that we found out. So it's not so a lot of the studios were expanded a lot, and they were trying to make them create more, I guess, AAA level things, including id. Id was working on several potential other projects. which will now just go away. So that basically is what happened here. The other teams just aren't there anymore. So Doom is still the main team, I guess. To your point, there might be like some, switch outs of like somebody who's not gonna be as helpful anymore, not to be like offensive to that person, and maybe some newer people who might be more useful to continuing the team's work, right? So but I think they basically are just focusing, and they're doing that across the board. In the Phil era, it was more about how do I take advantage of as many of my studios and teams as I can to create more content, right? Just keep pumping more games into Game Pass. And so they expanded even id, right? And that's not a bad thing. We've been saying, hey, why couldn't they take a crack at other games like Halo or something like that, right? But they were looking at games even different than that. Like apparently Perfect Dark was another potential that they were looking at.
I was gonna bring in like that list of games.
Yeah, so like thinking about all that, and you're like, well, okay, given we already tried that with the initiative and it failed miserably. Going down that path just seems like a bad idea. And if that was the pitch you're making, it's like, why weren't you pitching Quake? Why weren't you pitching, one of your own IPs that are just sitting there waiting to be made? You're trying to pick something else. Fine. Then they had another one where they were trying to create a whole new IP. Okay, cool. However, I think Asha's like, yo, you've got this other one that everybody already knows. And why the heck aren't we making that? So if you're not going to like push in that direction, then I'm just going to tell you that's what you got to go do. And I've already got the team to do it. You've made your trilogy of Doom. Move on to the next thing. So expect to see Quake come up. Machine Games. Did they even get hit? I don't know because I'm not on social media. I don't know
if anything. Machine Games got a promotion. They run Arcane now.
Wow, go figure.
The guy who ran Machine Games now is in charge of Arcane. Like he's the CEO or the studio head or whatever.
So, Machine Games delivered on Wolfenstein, delivered on Indie, and I'm hoping that they continue that path, right? So I don't know where there's rumors. I don't know if it's true that Wolfenstein is actually ready to go. They just didn't have a slot for it yet, and they will throw that out when they're ready. If that's true, that's freaking awesome, and that's why Machine Games is not touched. It's like you put games out, right? And you've actually delivered. So fair enough, and they did reasonably well. So I don't know if that's kind of the impetus of this, but I'm guessing based on all the data we have that it's like, okay, we expanded you a lot. That's obviously the case. They're telling us they're basically back to where they were, right? And maybe they were slightly ahead with before the purchase by Xbox because they did Eternal mostly outside. Like, when did Eternal come out? Was that like
2020?
So right around the time of the announcement, right? So right around there, right? So they might have expanded them a little bit, and then when they got bought, they got really expanded. And then the delivery was not that different, right? If you're going to expand that much, then you'd expect the Dark Ages to really shine in comparison to, oh, by the way, Doom and Doom Eternal, who were both Game of the Year contenders, and Doom the Dark Ages not as much, right? So you just have to take that in stride and say, well, we expanded you by like double or triple or whatever, and you didn't really deliver much better than what you had before. In fact, the quality might have gone down, right? And it's like, well, okay. And I get it. At this point, it becomes cold and reality check, right? Because it's business, and they're in a point where they're like, they're not making enough, and I'm investing a lot in you, and your delivery has been not amazing. So let's go back to the core team that made 2016 and Eternal, and those were both gaudy contenders. I want another gaudy contender. So go make one of your IPs, and what do you need for that? And now it's not Asha that's going in and saying that person. They're working with management to figure out who are the people that are needed for the core to work, right? So they figured out what they need, and the rest had to go. So all these other projects, they're gone. Is that a good or a bad thing? I don't know. At this point, it kind of feels like they need to focus, right? And they had the let's try everything mode, And that was just flailing, right? It's just a reality. We all see it. We got the numbers. It's just, it wasn't working, right? They got to a certain point for Game Pass and it didn't grow. Then they went to $30 and it started to decline. They reversed the number a bit and it's starting to get back, but it's not right up to where it was. But that path kind of hit its limits. So the path they were on with Phil and Sarah, it wasn't working. And so, you know, Asha, good, bad, or indifferent, is saying, well, let's focus. Let's reset and focus. What do I know is going to work? Let's go there, right? Well, you know, your new game, cool, but I don't know if it's going to work with your team or not. So what I do know is I can get a Quake from you, and people are asking for it. You literally have a conference called QuakeCon every year where people are going
Not
there.
DoomCon, by the way. Not DoomCon, QuakeCon.
Why don't I have this game already, right? And so it makes sense from that perspective. It's like, no, focus on what people are asking for. Let's just go do that. So I think that's what this is. You know, it's sad. Like you guys mentioned, I don't want people to lose their jobs. However, they did expand a bit beyond what they needed. And it is where it is, right? Like if that path was working, we wouldn't be here, right? So it isn't working. It's just the reality of it, right? So I think that's basically what's happening across the board, right? And to the point of where we were with all these studios they bought and they let go. It's the best case scenario, right? We were all expecting like many of these studios are just going to get shuttered, and that did not happen. In fact, the opposite happened. Not only were they let go, they were funded to continue the games they've already announced. Nothing else is happening to those studios.
They
it's
kept
like
their
it's
IPs,
the best
they
case.
kept their catalogs, everything they came in with, and more.
Scenario. I'm like, okay, that's pretty good. I don't know what happens to Arcane, but from what I understand from the messaging that we got from Asha, everything announced is coming. Well, that
and like I said,
Blade.
they did literally make him the guy from Machine Games is in charge of Arcane. Why would you do a swap of leadership and then shut him down? You know what I'm saying? I don't see that happening. I think they're going to do a mass firing. I think there's going to be a lot of the people gone from that team.
Maybe.
And that's why so they have to talk to France.
Exactly, the Works Council, right? So it may be that they're shifting the focus of Arcane to something else, or maybe they are just going to sell it off, and that's fine too. But this is something they need to work on, right? And I think that's basically what happened to id. Like many teams, right, that got expanded under the Phil regime, right, to say, hey, I want you to focus on adding more quality to the games, adding more content to the games, making them bigger. And then if you want other projects, let's have other teams working on other projects within these same studios. Cool. That didn't work. And so we're now in a different world. And I think that's what happened here with id. You know, they're saying they're going to continue making games. And Asha clearly said Doom, Quake, Wolfenstein are part of the package that she wants to continue, right? She's got, you know, Fallout, Elder Scrolls, and then these ones that she wants this team to keep, you know, going. One of the other things that maybe isn't as obvious, Asha moved Mojang and King out of the studio realm and said they're now reporting to me. Why did she do that? Right now, a lot of these studios were living off of Minecraft money, off of King money. That's no longer going to be the case. So these guys aren't just going to live off of it. So now they have to kind of pull their weight, right? So you got the numbers, like they invested 100 million, you get 64 million loss. That was what they were doing, right? And they're like, that was all being funded because Minecraft would keep making money. That was being funded because King would just keep crushing it, right? And so you had these two massive behemoths. I think Asha's like, I don't want you to think of them as your piggy bank. I'm taking them away. I'm going to expand them. The downside of what they did with that is while Minecraft is still doing something good, Roblox has come in and taken their lunch. And that requires you to invest back and say, no, Minecraft, what do you need from your own freaking funding that you create to make that platform even better? right? And that's something that has been laxed. And I hopefully that's what she's going to do, because her target is to double the current 500 million to 1 billion users, right? She wants to do it, which can be done with just those 2 freaking studios, right? But they need to focus and say, you're going to invest in yourselves now, and I want you to grow, right? So I want your target to get to 700 in 2 years or 3 years.
As it should be. As it should be. It's
exactly.
only fair for the money that they bring in to kind of reinvest and kind of help them evolve. Exactly, because they are
helping the other ones.
Exactly. And this is the problem that was taking place here, and the reason why she needed to come in and fix the situation, because you want these bigger games to even reach a bigger audience and continue to get creative and do more and grow. They are already, these freaking humongous IP that people just adore. Imagine if the focus and the investment was still there to take what they bring in to kind of help out all the other ones to not drown. You're chipping at it, right? You're messing with what they could be, and in turn messing up their foundation, right? So when you're doing that just to keep the other ones afloat, like, you need to be able to stand on your own. And go ahead. You have
no. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, first of all, Asha, this was not her mess, essentially. She came to fix it, but she could have very easily said, this is not working, you're shut down, it's over. This was not my plan, this was Phil's. And it could have been a situation like that where it wouldn't have been great for the people, and we would have, it's a sad situation, right? But at the same time, if she comes in hot and she's coming in to fix, and she didn't take the time to understand, that also would have been acceptable, right? But the fact that she's making sure that decisions that were not made by her, she's still supporting these studios, that their game will still come out, that they get to keep everything they have. Like, that is huge. That is huge. So yes, they are making changes, but the way she's going about it, kudos to her, because this could have been a whole other situation. We've seen it on the other side, how they handle things, right? And people are just let go and things are just shut down. And that is not what she's doing. Showcasing games to check the hype to so that they can have that in their resume, so that they can get either scooped up or when they go on their own, right? Have that backing. That's huge. So I do think it's something that I'm not sure that people are bringing up enough, but kudos to her for addressing this situation in the way that she's doing so. Now, the way that she's taking steps about it, we're letting 3,200 people go, doing 16 from the ones that are like clear as day, right? And then I need some time. I'm not just going to make sporadic decisions to make sure that that money's no longer being spent. I'm going to assess the situation and I'm going to see how this plays out. Now, if without the funding of, Minecraft or a big IP helping these other studios, if they still can't stand on their own or make something substantial enough, that's a different conversation. But she's giving them the opportunity to do it on their own. And she's allowing the he said, she said, because she brought this up of there's no accountability because there are so many people there. The places where she's not clear and she's a bit of okay, well, I'm not just going to let everybody go and say, because this isn't clear to me, you guys, I have to let you go until, and reset. She's trying to see what's what before she makes that decision. It's huge.
I agree. I think that's a great point. There's a couple things too while you were talking, because you brought up the fact that when Xbox gave these the people that they're letting go, like Compulsion and Double Fine, their IP back.
Yes,
they also gave them the catalog back, right? So they gave them the IP and a catalog, which kind of doubles down on the fact that they're done with the small games, right? Like they don't even want them. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't even want to own the IP. They said, no, You go back, you take your IP.
First
We
of
don't
all,
need them.
that's great for the studio.
Go. Yeah, it's a double. It's a double. Like
Mhm.
it sounds like, oh man, look at Xbox being so nice, but also it's like we don't need it. We're not gonna do this. We're going big. We're not going small anymore. Go do you guys, and we'll help you along the way, and that's it.
Well, to that, by the way, if you have indie games like Expedition 33 coming out here, Game of the Year, like you can't look at indie games or smaller games as small games anymore. You know what I'm saying? So when they're at that level where they're competing with your big games and you're investing in these smaller games, you have to take a step back and say, okay, do I go all in on my big game so that there could be a big difference?
Absolutely.
Or do I keep trying to be everything and then excel at none?
You can't be making little games that you're okay being little when other little games that are indies are fighting against your big game.
Exactly, because then your little games are not enough to stand on their own.
Yeah, because you're saying your little games are just for funsies.
Exactly.
But the games that are just for funsies out there are eating your lunch in the big realm of gaming. So I definitely get that.
So
the other thing too, real quick, with just the fact that you brought it up about Asha putting King and Minecraft directly under her. I think there's a part to kind of look at is you're saying, yeah, you know, they're using Minecraft dollars on these other people, but King is under Activision, and she took that too. And I think what she's doing is creating a line where I think Call of Duty would have been considered this umbrella until Black Ops 7.
Yep. 100%.
I think Black Ops 7 showed Asha and the gang, especially her being new to this, right, that Call of Duty is not infallible, that Call of Duty can come out and do really bad numbers for what it's supposed to do. Obviously, that'll still make it better than most games that are released, but still not something that you can bank your
the investment's also pretty big, right? So
exactly. So like Minecraft and King, she's saying, you guys making games over there don't look at Matt, look over there. You have nothing to worry about. Minecraft and King are doing their thing. They know how to make the money they're making. And you know what? If there's ever a decision that needs to be made where this is the decision, because this is purely a money conversation now, right? It's purely dollars. It's Minecraft. What do you want to do? they're not going to tell Minecraft what to do. Minecraft is an entity that has been rocking since 2014? No, they bought it in 2014, right?
Oh yeah, they bought it in 14. It's before that, yeah.
So but for over 12 years, obviously Xbox gave the investment, but the Minecraft team has done what it needs to do to be relevant, and stay dominant. All these years later, I think Asha looked at that and said, okay, you guys clearly know what you're doing. You don't need that type of oversight. You need somebody who whatever you want to do, I'm going to have the final say, right? You're going to report to me. You're going to say, hey, this is what we need. This is why we need it. We're going to do this. And she's going to say, let's go or no, right? But she has that word, and she's doing the same thing with King, right? She's saying King is too valuable to be even lumped in with the conversation of our other games. These two are the pillars of their income, and they want to make sure that they're separate from all the other artistic nonsense that's happening in gaming. You know what I'm saying?
So General Stone points out, and unfortunately Candy Crush has lost players to Monopoly Go. This is the problem, right? Something else could come up, and if you're not innovative all the time because your money is being siphoned off to support everybody else, then you lose, right? So they have to like continuously keep investing and making sure those platforms grow. And they keep up with whatever's new in the world, right? So they might need to also create new IPs within King and or even Mojang, right? And I think Matthew Ball is going to look at those and say, how do I grow that, right? I think that's why it's going to Asha. It's basically take these as separate things that are massive platforms for us that have the most reach. How do I expand that reach? And what is the right market, penetration requirements needed to make that happen? what do I need to do to make these bigger and better? I'm going to focus on those. That's, I think, what she's going to do. She's going to tell Matt, go figure out the rest, right? You got to now figure out how to tighten it your belt a bit and make the games we need to make. But these two we're going to focus on. I think this is going to be her and Matthew Ball are going to work on these two and say, how do I expand this? Make sure we don't lose market share, because that could easily happen. And how do I expand it? What go-to-market strategy do we need to make sure I continue to grow these things, right? Because it is kind of like that, CMoney, you're saying, like, you could just set it and forget it and just let them keep going, which is cool, but then you're siphoning away their funds. And it's like, well, okay, that's not fair either, right? So I think that's going to be their strategy. Like, okay, how do we invest in these two to make sure we get to that billion, right? So some people were saying the billion is ridiculous, and like it's really not. If you think about that, there are $500 million now, the vast majority of which is these two studios. You just say, I'm going to focus. She did. She literally said, I'm taking them away from everybody else. I'm focusing on them. I'm putting them right under me. So you know what that means. She's focusing on them, right? And she wants those things to grow. And that's
she's taking that work from Matt in the game, right?
Yeah, and she's like, I'm putting my energy on these two.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, well, look at something like Minecraft when we found out that they had Ninja Turtles, SpongeBob, Hello Kitty, and it's like, oh, okay, well, we have something for it. We went and Blue, we
got everything.
We got everything we found that the kids were into, and it's like, go have freaking fun with it. And it's like, you have, these are the creative things that they can keep on top of if,
So the other thing about Minecraft is I think the reason why it can sustain the way it has, even in the wake of Roblox, is if you look at both games, it's very clear. Roblox is a naughty game.
Oh, it is.
Okay, that is for the parents who don't want to pay attention to what their kids are playing, or they pay attention, but they have to like micromanage it because there's a lot of crazy stuff on Roblox, whereas Minecraft is more like,
peaceful. Yes.
Go do this. It's a family friendly game. You can set it and forget it as a parent. Go play whatever you want. Oh, there's a new pack that came out. Sure, I'll buy it for you. Go have fun with that. But you don't have to worry about psycho crap in the game like Roblox does. So that's why Minecraft, as much as Roblox is huge, I think that they can stand on their own lanes because Minecraft is safe for parents to say, go have fun. And on this side, it's not. And Minecraft, there's a lot like mentally that goes on. With the every time you play, you're building. You are actively participating in this world,
trying to find a way,
and there's little levers and mechanics that you like engineers can use this. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Like this is a great tool for people, not in real world tool, but just to get your mind wrapped around it, right? So they can exist, but
Roblox is like letting your kids play outside in the hood versus
playing in the backyard.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? We give them swings back there. Out there, they're throwing rocks at each other. Let me get the homie real quick. The Mad Leprechaun in the building.
Yo,
back to our boy Hargeet. Shout out to Mad Leprechaun, biggest super chat of the night with that $20. Untouchable. He cannot be beat. He's not messing around.
Let's
Mad
go.
Leprechaun, appreciate you, my dude. Thank you for being here. He says the cutbacks that Xbox are doing are far better for the player base, unlike Sony, who thinks it's totally cool to flip the bird to their players and then distract with the bread and circuses a la COD Black Ops 1 and 2. You're absolutely true. Or right. You're absolutely right. 100% what Xbox is doing, everything that's happening right now that Xbox is doing is difficult but necessary, because this is the way they move forward. And again, she said it in her letter. This is not about making a smaller Xbox. This is about making Xbox bigger and better, but just more focused, right? With the proper investments, as opposed to, even if they're making the same money, but they're making it off smaller more focused investments with bigger and better games taking up that space instead of having these little ones, right? So
you become stronger. That's the point. It's kind of like it's seeing something scattered all over the place, and it's like, okay, well, let's lock in, let's restructure this situation and have a focus on where we're trying to go. I think also when Phil went ahead and scooped up a lot of these studios, it was, yes, he went ahead and did that, but there was a timidness to it where it's like, we're still going to let you be and let you do your thing, and kind of like you still have your own identity, rather than here you're a part of our group, let's go, let's see what's the goal, like. And I think Asha can come in and go ahead and do that because she's shaking up the house, right? So people are looking at her very differently, rather than look at this guy swung his wallet at us. And even though it was beneficial to them, there's that resentment of not being able to say no to that number, right? So I feel like there's going to be a different level of respect with this whole situation towards Asha versus what they had going on with Phil. And this is not a Phil thing. This is a situation that Xbox was in thing, right? Where, oh, it's okay, we're not trying to lock in your games, we're just trying to grow, let everything go everywhere, like that mentality.
It's almost that made
yes, it's like, hey, listen to me, I'm trying to scoop you up but not hold you back. Whereas now it's kind of like, okay, I'm leading the ship, not you, not you. You're not leading the ship with your studio and figuring things out and then coming and reporting to me at the end. That's not how it's going to work. But this whole situation that did take place, because you brought up Black Ops 7, it's great for the players, because this showed them that these developers need to continue to challenge themselves. And it's not just because another Call of Duty came out, everybody's just going to run out and buy it again, just like they did the one from last year. If you do not come correct, people are not going to show up and support you in the way that you thought they would. This is in blind love.
And I don't think people in Call of Duty want to play co-op. Okay?
Exactly.
They just accept it. They don't want to play co-op. They want to play a single player game, or they want to go ahead and kill each other.
I like co-op,
right.
but anyway. But I want it done right. The stupid thing they did with Black Ops 7 was just terrible. Anyway,
it was ridiculous.
The other thing I did, and I'm going to want your thoughts on this, obviously, and you as well, Doodle, and we kind of glazed over it or glossed over it, but one of the other big things that a lot of people were kind of complaining about was the idea that they believe the tech is dead now, that idTech
apparently that turned out to not be true, right?
Yeah, that it's not true. There are enough. They still have a team who's working on it. It's just not bloated, right? That means that there's not more like, hey, let's have you 4 people do the work of this one person to make it easier. It's no, you just do the work. But the reality is that the tech still lives, that Xbox is still looking to go ahead and use the tech on their future games. It's not a dead platform. Wolfenstein will be still made on idTech. They're still going to be using that engine. So as much and Jez Corden kind of reported on it, but they provided Jez a statement from Microsoft saying there are dozens of people working on idTech across multiple locations. Report that there's only one person left in Texas are inaccurate. I don't know that's crazy. That they were like, hey, it was just one guy left to run the engine. But like, again, basically they are still able to run that engine. And a lot of people were scared, or I'm going to say scared, but like defensive of the idea, because it is known for running really well for the most part, right? On lower spec, computers and boxes.
Yeah, look, I would have been okay with it if they replaced it with COD Engine, like, because they need that behemoth anyways, and COD Engine is a derivative of id, and they have diverged. It's been quite a while since they got that idTech version for COD, but COD it's just something that has to be supported. There's just no way around it, right? This is a big behemoth game, and there's tens of thousands of developers that know the COD Engine because they just have to, because they support them, right? They support getting the game over the line, and it's just out there. So idTech not as much, but no, it turns out they're still supporting idTech. It's going to keep going. But it wouldn't have been the end of the world to me if they just said, hey, we'll displace that with one of our other ones, right? We just invested in Playground and Turn 10 to convert the Forza engine into an RPG engine, right? They just did that to give you Fable. So it's possible to leverage that as well, right? But I mean, that COD engine just sits there, and it's like literally tens of thousands of people know how to use that engine because that's just the number of people needed to get Call of Duty out. And it's like, that's the bigger one to use if you had to use an idTech like engine, because that literally is an idTech engine, right? But again, they're continuing. Yeah, look, overall, this is not. I took a sigh of relief when I heard that they didn't cut all these studios off and just shut them down. Right? They did about as good as you could do. Like, the big debacle that could have happened is shut down Double Fine and get all the ire of everybody in the freaking gaming world. They didn't do it, and like, Asha's ability to read the room is pretty damn good. So I think she got all the messaging, and she's like, all right, yes, it'll be a hit, but to hell with it. Let's just do what we need to do. We'll reset ourselves. There'll be a financial hit for 1 quarter, 2 quarters, whatever. We'll just take that financial hit. Microsoft, please pay that amount, that bill, and we're done. Right? And so they're off. They do their thing, and we're done. Right? So whatever, it is what it is, and they'll move on. And so then she can actually said, okay, here's what my budget is going forward, and here's what I'm going to be doing to get the same level of commitment as far as games, third party, first party, right? And some of the things you've been saying, that's what they need. They don't need to go buy the Expedition 33 studio. What they need to do is find the next Expedition 33, and then just say, hey, we're going to just partner with you, right? And you can make it exclusive. You can put it in a Game Pass, whatever you want to do. But the association was pretty big with Xbox, with Expedition, because, well, they're the ones who funded a lot of that with Game Pass. And that's what they need to do. They keep doing those kind of things. Bringing in games like Stranger Than Heaven and Persona 6 as day-and-date Game Pass games. Yeah. That's a huge association. Huge association. And that they need to keep doing those kind of things. Yes, if you're going to play this exclusivity game, then yeah, you need to go find some of those that are also going to be exclusives. But that's on them. But she is taking away a lot of the funding that was going to these studios that were not giving an impact back to them, and saying, well, what will? Go find me the game that will. So and that's what she's looking at. And she's asking these studios that were like off doing other projects, like, I want to make this cool new IP thing. It's like, but you have this other IP everybody knows about. Why can't we make that game? Right? What's going on there? Assigning Obsidian, like, you've made a Fallout. Why the hell aren't you making the next one right now? Like, why is there not a Fallout with this freaking television show that's blowing up? Where's my Fallout game? Right? Everybody knew that that's what needed to happen, as did Obsidian, who pitched it and said, we can make a game if you want us to. And it just kept getting shot down. And she's like, screw you, you're doing it. Let's just go. Right.
Todd wants to own Fallout. Todd wants to own all that stuff. And I think he's Todd's a cool guy, but I think everybody gets a little slapped up. And I think the reality is that people prefer Obsidian's Fallout to Todd's Fallout.
I don't even prefer one way or the other. It's like, they don't.
But that's what people do. People want Vegas, and he kept blocking it. But Asha's like, no, this is happening.
Like, why is this not happening?
It's a big deal for them to listen to the players, because look at how these gallopers are out there just aimlessly galloping their way and screaming. Please. Yeah, it's like, dude, like, obviously, if the players are speaking and you want them, if you want them to show up, give them what they want. Right? Yep. If enough players are shouting at you, give me this game, make it happen. That's what they want.
Agreed.
So, there were other studios that weren't touched, like Elsewhere, which I was very happy to hear. So that one is that's the one that they just built in Poland under Activision, and there's a bunch of ex-CDPR people there. Yep. They're making an RPG, and I just thought she's probably just going to shut that one down. Thank God they didn't touch it, and it's like they're still going. They actually are supposedly showing something soon. Like, this is great news. I want to see what the heck they're working on.
That also shows, Hargeet, that it's not just about making known IP. They want known IP, but they also want big IP. They want people who are taking swings for the fences and not just, hey, we're making our next game. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, that's a big deal. Because that's what I wanted. I mean, if you remember, one of the things I was hoping for from the show was to see a big brand new IP that was huge on the level of these other games. And the fact that they didn't shut down elsewhere lets you know that that's exactly the type of game
I'm
they're
hoping
making.
that's going to be a big one. But yeah, so that's a good thing.
Like.
That's a good sign.
100%.
But look,
100%.
you know, taking that funding away from those studios and then assigning it somewhere else. So like one of the things I'd been saying was the next thing they need to do is Asha needs to tell us her vision. And they did, like almost immediately after this came out. There were interviews. She started telling us what they're looking to do. And you can kind of see where they're going. They're telling you, hey, we invested in all that. It didn't drive any growth. It didn't do anything for us. So we're going to, sort of switch to a different model where we want to get games that people recognize, big, huge IPs that people want. Let's go after that. We're looking at first and third party content, right? And she was very emphatic about that. So there will be some third party deals they're going to make things happen. It was very interestingly that the Toys for Bob, Spyro game, that trailer is blowing up. How many views that thing has is crazy, right?
Does it?
I hope it translates to sales. Oh, it's in the tens of millions. It's something ridiculous. Listen, I'm not a Spyro head. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a Spyro fan, but I saw it. I was like, yo, that looks really good. It looks pretty good, right?
It looks really good.
It's in the top few of the the showcase the showcases that happened. It's one of the top few as far as number of views. That's pretty impressive, right? So if they can come up with something and work one of the other IPs, great, right? So, but that's what they need to do a lot more of, right? If they take one of these studios, down the road, Ninja Theory or Double Fine, and say, we'll fund another game with you. But now there's a budget and they can cut them off whenever it doesn't meet milestones, right? They're not dealing with their own employees. It's just, hey, you just like Scalebound, right? Hey, you didn't meet the milestones. We're sorry. Bye. Right. We're moving on. Just like IO, right? With Project, whatever the Dragon, whatever the heck the name is. Yeah. They pull that. They're like, hey, you're not meeting milestones. Bye. Right. it's not good enough for us. You got to get to some level. I think that one had some other issues where they allowed IO to own the whole thing and Xbox was funding the whole thing. And they're like, wait a minute. Why are we funding it and not having any ownership stake?
Exactly.
So I should pull out of that. Right. So
smart.
So look, I think a lot of that is just what they are doing. There's also a lot of third-party spend that they're shutting down where it wasn't as valuable to them. So we did get like the note that some of the deals that they were working for Game Pass were kind of just put on hold. I'm guessing that's going to change a bit, but that's just my thoughts. They have these 75 games, but it's okay if 74 of those games are all small. Is that really the impact you want to have, right? Yes, you might luck out and get an expedition, but should you cut that down to 30 or 40 games, but have them be more impactful, right? And I think that's something she's going to be evaluating, right? It's cool to have a lot of games in there, but it's better to have games that people will say, oh crap, I want that Game Pass because it's got that in there, it's got that in there, it's got that in there, it's got that. Wow, right? That's what you want, right? And I think that's what they're going to look at. And I think that's what Matthew Ball is telling her. Like, it's just, I mean, it's pretty obvious, right? That's what you want people to want to be there, right? And you do that by giving them stuff that they want. You like, I want to play that game. Okay, it's in that for $23. I can play all of these games. Holy crap, right? Why wouldn't I want that, right? That's the kind of thing they need to get to, and hopefully that's what happens. I don't want any more people to lose jobs, but it is what it is, right? I understand the whole industry is having issues, but like you guys said, the other side just shut studios down. They just shut them down. And it's not like we didn't just see Bungie get totally like destroyed. Now, Bungie is probably alive because of PlayStation buying them. They may have been in this situation much earlier because they were floundering as it was. Right. So and Sony just took a $750 million loss investing in Bungie and got Jack Diddley out of it. So it is what it is,
Jack
right?
Diddley. Jack Diddley.
Right. So But this is the way it is, and you look at most of the industry; they've been shutting things down everywhere. It is what it is, and like you just hope that you have this good of an outcome where it's like, well, it's not working for us anymore, but we're not shutting you down. You can just go do what you want to do, right? And it's like that's pretty damn impressive. And
100%.
so yeah, good thought. Like as far as it, I'm happy that they're saying this because that means that maybe they have enough confidence to say, no, we're good. We can still build what we need to build, and where they need to expand, they'll deal with it, right? And I think they're going to use Machine Games and it together and do what they need to do to get games out. So we'll hopefully be seeing good amount of stuff from them.
So we do have the John Carmack statement. I do want to get to that, but real quick, Fillmore Pocket says the learning curve on idTech is huge. They should definitely be working on it to make it as accessible as Unity and Unreal. And that's the one thing that's difficult when you have like these proprietary engines. Although idTech is technically has been open source before, like they have licensed it to people in the past. For the most part, it's a difficult engine that not everybody is learning when they're coming out of school to learn this stuff, right? Or when they have their free time, they're learning Unreal, they're learning Unity. These are the foundational engines in the industry, and it takes a lot of time and money. One of the biggest problems that Halo had was that proprietary engine was too difficult to learn, and it took 6 months to take a new hire and teach them how to use the engine. And in 6 months, you're not a master, you just know how to do it. So you're relying on people who've been doing it forever to go ahead and help you do it, and it's a waste of time, right? So that's why, as much as like, oh my god, the engine, it's like, as long as they know how to use it, keep making it, and that's it. Like it'll be more difficult for them to swap out to another engine when they don't really need to. They're not in a growth phase, so the people who are there know how to use idTech, and that's where they'll stay. Same thing with Wolfenstein, right? So the other thing, just to add more clarity to elsewhere is the place.
It's elsewhere.
Said they're making a third-person open world game in a contemporary urban setting mixed with fantasy elements. Gameplay revolves around fluid parkour movement, traditional weapons, combat, and magic. And then he brings it up. We didn't say it now, but 100-star games made up of Batman Arkham, published by Xbox, is still alive too, which is dope. So that means they like what they see.
And
which is
could potentially be an exclusive, right? Now it's all those things are gonna change, right? With Asha.
True.
It does seem like that's another thing that came out, that exclusives are going full tilt.
Supposedly. I mean, we'll see. I mean, if that's the case, then take Fable. I'll believe it when I see Fable off of PlayStation. You know what I'm saying? Take Fable, make it Xbox exclusive. That would be
I've been saying it. Make Fable exclusive.
I think they can do it. It's time now, man. You're gonna
Did
do it. Just do it.
Did they sell that collector's edition on PlayStation as well?
I don't know.
Oh shoot, that's a good question.
Is it? Go check. I'll buy it. If that shit's on PlayStation and available, I'll get it.
Which one? Fable?
Halo.
Oh, Halo?
Oh,
no.
Sorry.
Fable.
You said Fable, but it made me think of Halo.
Yeah.
Did they release Halo on PlayStation?
Yes, they did.
Edition?
They did.
That sold out too?
Yeah.
Bastards.
Everything was sold out.
Mother flowers. God damn. All right. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they did have the Fable edition over there. But either way. All right. Let's move forward. Still lots to talk about. All right. So we have John Carmack here in the building. He has some thoughts on what's happening. If you don't know who John Carmack is, he is one of the OGs from id. He no longer works there. He left because he was an investor in Oculus VR, and he left to go do that. And so, but he still obviously has his roots in id. So he says, I've been trying to find something meaningful to say about the id software layoffs. My quote, Microsoft will probably be a good steward of the brand, quote, statement isn't aging well, and this is certainly going to dampen the mood of the founder reunion at QuakeCon next month. I'm saddened, but I can't muster anger or outrage over it. I don't have access to the books, but I suspect that id Software was a marginal business from Microsoft's perspective. I believe the reports that Minecraft revenues have been carrying several other studios.
To continue being produced long term, games need to succeed, not just be beloved. That
100%.
statement right there is like the mantra to what just happened at Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
South of Midnight, beloved, not bringing in the cash. Avowed, beloved, not bringing in the cash. You know what I'm saying? I
But
mean,
that is also why some of these old beloved IPs that people claim they want back, that not enough people will show up and purchase. This is why they can't sit there and touch that, right? We're in a different time and it's not going to sustain itself.
yeah, but they
So-
do have a plan, I think, going forward for that particular situation. And we could touch on that a little later. Touch on that conversation because I think they do have a plan for that. But that's a great line, man. It's so true. Like Doom is beloved, but it's not making the money.
And I
Quake,
think,
Wolfenstein.
yeah,
Wolfenstein was also in a similar position when it was having its run coming out, where it started out really strong, but then it kind of tapered off. You know what I'm saying? Like the sales did not increase, which each one, even though the dollars were spent bigger, like more money was spent on these games, but they didn't get more back from them. So Dark Angelic brings up Ratchet and Clank, a PlayStation IP, beloved. The sales aren't there. What we need to do is to get Astro out of here. You know what I'm saying? Get him out. No, I think he makes them enough money because they don't spend enough.
I love the fact that he's highlighting that he can't be upset. He can't be mad at it.
Yeah,
I think
because it makes sense.
it makes sense. And the whole point is so that this doesn't just become a beloved IP that it's no longer made, right? These adjustments need to happen in order for them to move forward. It's the responsible thing to do, right? You don't ride it out until you have to shut it all down, right?
Facts.
So if these adjustments are not made, that's what will end up happening. So in order to move forward, they need to go ahead and trim it all down.
Agreed. All right, he continues here. Games are competing with every other option for spending your leisure time and money, and the competition is brutal.
100%.
You can't rule out the possibility that executives are idiots, but that shouldn't be your default belief. I don't think there is an obvious path that would have doubled the revenue from id games. Could they have gotten more with a different pricing strategy? Could they have created more things for fans to buy? Could they have cost effectively marketed in a way that reached more players that would have loved and bought the games? Could they have changed the game designs and broadened the appeal to more players without alienating existing ones? Could they have produced the games at a lower cost, faster or cheaper? I really don't know. The game isn't over yet, and I hope the studio rallies through. I mean, these are all great questions, but I think that fundamentally he overall comes to the same kind of conclusion that Asha did, which is like, could these things have happened? Sure. Like maybe we could have tried these things, but then at what point are you just beating a dead horse?
I also just think that when you try certain things, the outcome is not up to you just because you did them. You understand that? Like right now with social media and everything else, like things are too fragile out there. You make one wrong move, say one wrong thing, show something in a way that people are not happy with, and that is your whole existence with work, right? With your game. And so it's all too sensitive, and sometimes it's things are made out of things that aren't even there. It's at that point. And so it's just they could have tried something that kind of backfired, right? And what they tried, just it was them trying, but it wasn't good enough to make an impact in a positive way.
Yeah, I mean, they already did, like you said, they kind of did that broader appeal joint, and it had a backlash, right? Like
Exactly.
less people were interested in it because of that. And you know, at that point, it's like you know, it kind of is what it is. And you know, I think it was Gen X Gamer who was in here before. And you know, you brought it up, Hargeet, but they have QuakeCon. It's called QuakeCon. QuakeCon. Not DoomCon,
Mhm.
not WolfCon, not IndieCon, QuakeCon. And that game just does not exist right now. You know what I'm saying? They did that little ray trace, you know, RTX remake or whatever on PC. But it's like it's not out. So why? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like you've been making these Doom games, which is cool, but like I guess people are just not, you know, Doom is just not scratching that itch for the masses as you would want them to be.
So
You know what I'm
get to
saying?
scratching, right? Like if this is something that you have out there that you know people respond to, then that's what you need to feed them.
Agreed. What do you think about this, Hargeet? This letter from John Carmack?
I think it's a good reflection, right? Because like he's been around, he knows what's happening, and I'm sure he's getting some inside information since he knows a lot of the people there, right? And you know, like it's recognizable what's happening, right? The studio did grow a lot and didn't deliver. You know, his line there about in what world would they like actually double their revenue is because, well, they doubled the freaking studio, right? So if you're going to double the studio, well, the expectation is that you double the revenue, double the profits, and that did not happen. And you know, it's a reflection on the realities of yes, you know, again, it's the vision of Phil was different than the vision of where they need to be now, right? And that's just a reality check that needed to happen. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. But where they were and what they were investing in was different, and unfortunately, that's changed. Which is why it's like, well, yeah, can I really be like pissed off about it? It's like if this was Bethesda on its own, it was nearly bankrupt, right? That's why they got sold. So like what you know, what world is it that it's worse that they're under Microsoft when they now have all these studios still doing stuff and not getting destroyed, right? So I don't know. It's, you know, it is still around. They're still making games, and Asha has doubled down on the games that they own. So I think that's a good stance to be at. And like Machine Games is still there doing their work as well. And they've been like the workhorse for id, right? So I think this is good in that it cuts it back to what it needs to be. It's sad for those people who lost their jobs. I understand that. But that's what he's reflecting on is like, can I really be mad? Because they've been through all this before, over and over. It's just the way it is. Economics is economics, right? If the market doesn't want what you're selling, you're gonna have to like figure out how to make it work. You know, to your point, though, a third game in that series was probably not the right path. You know, Doom Eternal, and at that point, maybe you slow down and do something else, create enough like of a gap so that people want the next Doom game. That might have worked a little bit better. You know, flipping between them so that you get you know, a variety of games out, right? So but I think this is what they're going to do, tag teaming between Machine Games and id is let's get these games going. Let's, you have three main properties. I don't know if indie keeps being made or not, but you have these three main properties. Let's swap back and forth between them to get these out there and not like keep wasting time. You know, how long has it been since the last actual Quake game has released? I don't even know. It's been so long.
Quake is remember, there's Quake, a game that we never released that they were working on for a long time. That was in playtest. I think it was called Quake Champions. I don't think it ever released. I think it was always, I mean, maybe it did release, and that's how much of a nothing burger it was, but it was a multiplayer game.
Yeah.
Like what they don't, the thing that they have to understand, the same thing with Doom, right? Quake, even though this is the hard part, because they're going to try to say Quake's DNA is more so the multiplayer than it was the single player, but I will argue that in today's world, Quake doesn't have a place in multiplayer. So I think you have to make you have to do another thing that you did with Doom and bring Quake back and make Quake a single player experience that cannot be denied, like Doom 2016. And then, you know, have a multiplayer mode if you want, just like the other Dooms did, but nobody's going to play it. And then that's it. That's where you go from there. I mean, you never know. Maybe some people will play. Maybe Quake can come back and become like a new, you know, a Call of Duty of its own, right? But you need the single player game to get people even interested. No one's gonna come and buy the ticket for a multiplayer game. Is not gonna happen. So I do think that is definitively something that they need to do. I think it's just stupid.
And maybe they don't need to do that, right? Not, from an Xbox perspective, they own Call of Duty, and they don't need to compete.
Yeah, they
with
don't
themselves.
need another Call of Duty.
They don't need
if
to
anything,
compete with
that would
themselves.
just
They own it.
that would compete with themselves. I was just about to say, like,
Yeah.
if anything, that's just gonna possibly take
Right,
away
so-
from the people who are guaranteed to buy Call of Duty. Why split it?
Split.
If they spend the money, if they say, "Oh wow, this interests me. Maybe this year I won't get Call of Duty. I'll get Quake." Then they spend their money on Quake, play it for a little bit, and then that's it. As opposed to when they buy Call of Duty, they stay in Call of Duty. They spend more money in Call of Duty. I think it would be really smart for Xbox to recognize the places that they have already super strong and realize that funnel should be kept in that way, right? Like, even though, like, I would say Quake is more in line with Call of Duty multiplayer than, like, say, a Halo, right? Like, Halo is its own beast, right? Like, people who like Halo style of multiplayer like Halo style multiplayer. It's not Call of Duty style, right? Very different. Quake is more in line with a Call of Duty, very fast pace, very quick time to kill type deal. Obviously more, jumping around and, different things like that, but still in the same vein. So, yeah, I don't think that's a necessarily a smart move to make. But yeah, anything else?
Overall, I think this was a good thing for him to do, because if you burn bridges, that's always bad, right? So I think this was very well thought out, and it doesn't point any fingers. It says, hey, this is the situation. I get it. It sucks on all sides, but it is what it is. I can't get angry about it because I know business, because I've dealt with it, right? So I think it was well done, because you could certainly see some other people who don't do that and put out messages that are like, do you want a future in this arena or not? Right? It's like,
Facts. We definitely
like,
saw a
what are
lot
you
of
doing?
dumb people who are never going to get hired again.
Oh yeah.
Coming out saying some crazy. How are you going to talk shit about Xbox the way that dude did? Even though I think that was turned out to be fake. But I don't know. I think at the end of the day, these are difficult times, man, and you should not be talking crap unless you're not looking to be in gaming anymore and you're just getting out. Michelle has a great
Michelle, what's good, love?
Michelle, thank you for being here, homie.
Thank you,
Appreciate
baby.
Says, I really think indie would have been a bigger success if there was a third person option. I still haven't played it because I hate puzzles and first person. I do plan on it at some point. I would say, number one, you haven't played it, you should. I think you have Game Pass. It's in Game Pass. It's phenomenal. And the follow-up, the DLC that they dropped, also very good. But I gotta tell you, I think you're right. I don't know if it's a mode, more so that it should have just been third person. As I would say, as silly as it might sound, there is a gap in the industry right now that soon to be Tomb Raider will fill when that drops. But it's not out, and it hasn't been out, and there hasn't been an Uncharted in a very long time. And this would have been a fantastic counter to that third person action adventure game. So I think you're right. I think if it was a third person game, not just a mode, but just a third person game where you were running around and you were Indiana Jones, I think it would have done better. 100%. I think so. 100%. But I
agree.
That's something we will never know because the moment is past, and I don't know as much as I think Indy 2 got greenlit right away. And remember, Machine Games wasn't hit at all by this round of layoffs. So maybe they're working on both. Maybe they're gonna work on both. Oh, I had something buzzing in my mind and then I forgot. when you brought up Machine Games and id working together, I would say that is one of the biggest things that Asha is doing going forward. She's done these with the silos. She doesn't care that the name of your studio is Machine Games and your studio is id Software. Doesn't matter. You work for us. You might as well be called Team 1, Team 2, Team 3, like in Blizzard. Okay? Because
thing 1, thing 2.
Thing 1, thing 2. Because at the end of the day, right? The power, like the success of these games shouldn't be based off the capabilities of any one studio. I think if you have a game that has some shooting involved, and we know they've done this, but I think it needs to be more what Asha is probably going for, which is, hey, there's shooting involved. You're either going to get Activision with Call of Duty involved. You're either going to get Halo Studios with Halo, or you're going to get, id involved with helping you make that good, right? You're going to have combat in there, hand-to-hand combat. Let's get one of our teams that are good with that, right? I think that you're going to see a lot more collaboration so that there are no weak spots when you have a wildly talented, net of developers who can go ahead and help, right? Like an Elder Scrolls or a Fallout should be best in class in every part of the game, right? Not just in what that studio is good for, right? Like Starfield, we know Starfield had Starfield did not get help. They made it clear that they handled the shooting on their own, but they shouldn't have, right? Even though it worked out okay, right? They shouldn't have wasted the time, right? They had to figure it out. Why are you trying to figure it out? You have plenty of studios who know how to make the gun go chitty chitty bang bang really good. Why are you wasting time, right? That's time wasted.
Yeah.
Right? If you're trying to figure out a system that somebody else has already figured out, why are you wasting your time? What, for you can say, well, you did it? No. Look at Call of Duty. Call of Duty has about 9,000 studios in their credits when you beat the game.
Yeah.
They don't care. Even though they don't look at it like who developed the game, it's who was the lead developer. Just because Treyarch was the lead developer doesn't mean Infinity Ward didn't help out or another studio didn't help out. They all helped. That's why this game is a success, because they don't waste time, right? Now, Black Ops 7, different situation. Obviously, they wanted to go try something different. Not a good look overall. We thought it was fine over here, but, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, no, ID didn't. It did not help. Actually, we all thought that it helped with Starfield, but they didn't. But the point is that when you look at this is going to be, I think, one of the biggest impacts if they go ahead and do it the right way, which is have these teams fill the holes of the other teams. And when I say fill their holes, I'm talking about their weaknesses. Okay, not anything that'll get anybody in trouble. All right. So fill the weaknesses. But yeah, so that is a huge thing that I hope that is not just something that she is talking about in a way where like this is the idea, and I hope it becomes this is what they're going to be doing, right? Because I think that's the genius that can exist here if they have the help they need to make everything work well in every single game. That's the way it should have been, for sure. Okay, anything else on this before we move on to the next, debunk? Smaller debunk, but still a debunk nonetheless. No,
it's just a reminder of
Good to go.
You remember that, I forget that the name, they put this whole thing together where, man, that thing when they dropped it, gave us chills about them kind of just all being Xbox, right?
Oh, when they joined,
Yes.
when it was when ABK
Exactly.
joined Xbox, they made that dope ass trailer. Remember?
See,
that had
that's the
everybody in their
mentality.
feels?
Yep, that's the mentality. That's what they need to go
Yes.
ahead and do. This whole my identity thing. Yes, when you pack up and go, pick up your identity again at the door. But if you are getting help from all these other studios and all these resources, it's not you standing there alone doing your own thing, right? And so we're just a family. We're together.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
figuring
You're
things
id, but
out.
you're Xbox. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like you're id, but you're Xbox. You're
Mhm.
Bethesda, but you're Xbox. You know what I'm
Without
saying?
all these other resources, your game wouldn't be what it is. And so I think we need
Agreed.
to kind of back off a little bit with this nonsense.
100%. All right. Let's jump into the next topic over here. It's not, again, this is like an extension of it, but is the other kind of side. And it's debunk number 2. Debunk number 2. So I don't even know if you guys are aware of this, but I saw this and I was like, oh wow, this is crazy. So Steven Totilo posted this, says this extraordinary post from Microsoft's head of comms appears to be in reference to a narrative by Fox News and others that does not appear to be grounded in reality. Check this out, okay? So we have the official Xbox like response, but this is in politics, okay? Look at literally where it is in politics. Fury erupts as U.S. brand fires 1,600 employees.
Oh my God.
After securing thousands of foreign worker visas. Okay, that's one. Then you have this one here. Politics. CEO under fire for mass layoffs amid foreign worker hiring spree, now appointed to Fed's task force on jobs. Okay, which is another like little side piece of news. But and then Representative Riley M. Moore says the H-1B visa program is a disaster. At Xbox just laid off 3,200 U.S. workers and is replacing them with foreigners holding H-1B visas. This is the definition of civilizational suicide, and it needs to stop immediately. Time to end all these programs, opt STEM up and H-1B1. Okay, that's the post. And this is Frank Shaw, who works for Xbox. He is lead communications for Microsoft. Okay, for Microsoft in general. Big dog had to step in and be like, let's stop the crap. So he says, lots of bad information out there. Let's clear it up. Recent workforce changes were made to restructure the Xbox business because it is not healthy. They were not made to replace employees with foreign workers. The H-1B figures being referenced are Microsoft-wide visa renewals and new hire applications. They are not specific to Xbox and represent a small percentage of Microsoft's overall workforce. And the majority of roles impacted were not American roles. And Xbox is the largest employer of American workers in the gaming industry and the largest American gaming company. And Asha is an American-born, raised, and educated CEO from Wisconsin. Now, why did the mainstream news have to get involved with gaming in this way? I don't understand it, and I don't know why. But I'm glad that Frank over at Xbox,
because of the Series S, babe.
It's because of the Series S.
Yeah.
Thank you, Doodle.
No problem.
You got the
Here to
answers
help
that we
however I
all
can.
crave.
Yep.
100%. That's what I'm talking about. Doodle's not messing around. Doodle is not messing around. Yeah, I mean, look, I wanted to put this in here just because of how dumb this entire conversation is right here. Like, why? You know what I'm saying? Why do you got to talk about this way? Why you got to bring up this part of it? Like, first of all, it doesn't matter who Xbox employs. Okay, foreign, not foreign, doesn't matter. Their business, their business. But like to try to make it like to use it for your political, like your political stance and go ahead and try to damn this situation as if they're doing something wrong is crazy. So shout out to Frank for coming through and just squashing it.
And I love how the cards are played according to the narrative, right? Because I think that if Xbox was from Japan, they would do much better, right? I think the fact that, you know, it is an American company with so many Americans in there, and, you know, these Japanese companies are so admired, is the part of the reason why they can't, even though they're doing great things, they can't get to the place where they deserve to be. That's my opinion.
100%. 100%. Hargeet, you got any words on this on this ridiculous situation?
On the surface level, I understand their ire, but like, dude, the current administration would have squashed it if it was that big of a deal. I don't think this is. They've already changed the H-1B program. I don't like the H-1B program. I'll just put that out. I hate it. I think it's terrible. But it is what it is.
I don't even know what it is, guys. I don't know what it is. So to give you the perspective.
The H-1B program essentially is you know, we have a standard immigration process. This one expands that for specifically basically Indians and gives about something like a few 100,000 a year extra, you know, visas instead of green cards, to allow them to come here and work for companies, but then the company sponsors them and pretty much just owns their ability to do anything. So it's a little bit of an annoyance. I don't like it. I think it's crappy, but it doesn't matter. It's the program that the government has put together. So it's more surface level instead of looking into it. So for that specific politician, they should have thought about it. Fox should have done a bit more in depth of like, okay, so where are these things and are they actually being replaced? So it's a little too ridiculous to go into, but it is what it is, right? This is just what politics is, right? Everybody makes surface level stupid statements. That's just the way it goes. And people will say it's this side or that side. They all do this. This is just standard crap that happens all the time. So you just have to actually analyze it yourself. Unfortunately, caveat emptor, you have to figure things out yourself. You have to go figure things out and make up your mind, because everybody will lie to you. That's just the way it is. News. Gee, remember the Xbox tax? Do they lie? You think the other news doesn't? They make billions and billions of dollars by lying to you. That's the job. That's the way it is. Everybody lies. You just have to go figure it out for yourself.
Yep. I get that, man. I get that. Look, again, this is nothing too crazy that I'm going to spend a lot of time on. Just wanted to bring it up. They did debunk it, right? They did slap them up. So kudos to Microsoft and Xbox. I love a good debunk. All right. I love a good debunk. And that's what they did. So if there's nothing else, babe, anything else on this before we move on?
Kuna Matata.
Kuna Matata. And by the way, just in case, I don't know if you Matt Grice, what's up, homie? Says, I love my Xbox Series S.
That's right.
We have them too. We do too. I don't, just in case you thought Doodle wasn't actually saying that it was the Series S fault.
Oh no. That's the cap
tries to blame
out
them
there.
So that's just to be clear, just in case there was any
everything's the Series S's fault, right? PlayStation stops physicals. It's Series S's fault. Like, oh my god.
Now, exactly. So let me bring this up here, because this was something that came out. Now we know. I don't know if you guys are aware, but Obsidian, as we all kind of speculated based off of Asha's, wording, where they want to focus on their biggest and best IP. Obsidian was regulated to Fallout status. Okay. So apparently they were working on Avowed 2, and that got canceled. And they got pivoted over to Fallout. I'm sure what they were working on in Avowed 2 was probably going to be able to be, maneuvered and pivoted over. Maybe not. I don't know, but that's what it sounds like. But so Avowed 2 was canceled. But apparently, there's this small undercover, super secret militia in Obsidian who says, damn the cancellation. We are going to work on Avowed 2 until the point where it's almost done and see what Xbox says. Now, this is pretty damning because if it was a secret, the secret's out. You know what I'm saying? like
Yeah.
Xbox knows that this is happening now if they didn't. So thank you, Jason, for blowing up the secret. But this is what the post says here. And we can listen to Jason. I don't really care too much, but we can listen to it. But I'll read what, you know what, let's hear him first. Let's see what the hell he's going to say first. It's only 33 seconds, and then we'll see if that translates directly.
Obsidian is they actually have a small team that was working on Avowed 2 that is still going to keep working on Avowed 2, even though it is canceled, while they wait for other projects like Fallout to be ready for them. And maybe in hopes of getting it uncanceled. Maybe it was actually farther along than I think people would expect for a sequel to a game that came out last year. So I think their hope is perhaps that they'll get it so close to being finished that Xbox will look at it and say, okay, yeah, you can finish and release this. It won't cost that much more to finish it. Obsidian is actually
all right. So I think number one, I'm gonna tell you right now, I think that's a stupid ass idea. Okay, I think it's a stupid ass idea to do this. One, look, I love Avowed. You hear me gloat about it all the time, or brag about it, or talk about it. I love it.
I do too.
Played it through completion twice, and then started a third playthrough. Like, I don't ever do that. You know, Avowed is one of my faves, one of my goats. Okay. That being said, I gotta call a spade, okay, baby. And you know, I don't like this stuff. I don't want no quick rehashes.
No.
Okay, like I don't. If you're telling me that's almost ready, dude, the game came out last year?
No, not last year. The year
2025.
before. Mhm.
Yeah, that's last year.
No.
It wasn't
2024.
2024.
No? Yeah, 2025 was
No, 2025. It was in February 2025.
There's no way.
Yeah, it was the beginning of the year.
wasn't.
I think it
Yeah.
was. I think
Oh,
it was
shit.
last
Yeah,
year.
Yeah, holy
100%.
oh,
It was
wow.
last year.
That's really fast.
February
That's crazy.
2025.
That's crazy.
Avowed came out. Okay. Then at the end of the year, Outer Worlds came out. And then February this year, Avowed came to PlayStation.
But you know, I would say maybe because we thought wasn't it Avowed that got pushed from the fall of 2024 to February
Yes, it got
2025?
pushed to February.
Yes, but
Fable
we
did.
also think that it was because of Stalker 2 and you know,
Yeah, and they
to
gave them more
not
time
have
to polish.
yeah, but maybe
Maybe
they
they
just
finished
got
it started earlier.
exactly. That's
Yeah, but even
potentially
still-
true. It's still tight.
Even
It's
even
still
if
tight.
2 years.
I do have to say, we also weren't expecting, you know, Hellblade or Senua to have such a quick turnaround, right? I also think that when you have such a beautiful foundation and you've hit like next gen, it's very easy to build from there and do another part of the game. So I'm not saying that there's like true to the fact that it was going to be such a quick turnaround, that if they keep working on it before they give them something else to do or they figure that out, that they'll be able to get the game done. I do think this is a pretty fast turnaround. However, again, when you have that foundation there, it can be pretty quick, and they seem to work well.
Agreed.
There's something
Real quick.
about that studio.
Guys, listen, I'm all for you guys having your discussion in the chat. Just chill out. Some of you guys are getting a little aggressive in some of these conversations you guys are
Thank
having on
you.
the
It's
side.
been bothering
So
me.
let's just chill it out. All right. We're all homies in here. We're all people who come all the time. I see all you guys. Let's just chill it. All right. Let's move on from whatever the nonsense is that's happening in there.
No name
okay.
calling.
So yes. So this is the thing. I appreciate what you're saying. Okay, I do. And I do understand that when you think of a Hellblade, and then you see Senua that was talked about, that looks really good. You're right. The foundation is crazy. So, because they did such a strong pivot, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That it feels like a fundamentally different game, right?
Agreed.
I don't think Avowed is going to do that. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Avowed is going to be a fundamentally different game. I think they're saying to themselves, well, we have this foundation. We could just put together another story. And what that sounds to me
It's
is
a
like
rush
they're just trying to
situation
get
for the sake of it.
something out.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't want that. Plus, it's a small team. No. If you're making an Avowed, I want all hands on deck. I want everybody working on Avowed, or at least the majority of the studio, right?
Well, but that's not what they were doing before either, right? Because they were working Outer Worlds and Avowed at the same time,
different teams
and Grounded, right? That's what I mean. So, but I
think they're converging those teams to Fallout.
Yeah, but I think
I
doing
think Outer
a core
Worlds and
team,
Avowed are going doing that.
Yeah, and I guess that's not the majority of the people are going to work on Fallout now, right? But I think having a core team just kind of keep it running is viable. It's just, look, they have to build the story out. A lot of the assets can be reused. They might have to create new character models, things like that, right? Maybe they do some minor upgrades. Hey, that might have been a UE. Was that a 4 or a 5? It might have been a UE 4. I don't know if it was UE 5.
No, it was 5. It was 5. It was ready. It was 5.
Was it 5? They might bump it to the next version of UE.
Yeah,
right?
remember, Hellblade was 5 in 2024.
Yeah. But that's it, right? And get some little upgrades by just going to a newer version of Unreal and then see what they can do, right? So it is viable. You just think of Grounded to Grounded 2, right? They had a small team and they did manage to put together a pretty good game. Now, Avowed is a bit more story driven, right? So you'd probably have to make sure that part of it gets handled. But again, we don't know how far they were in that, right? They might already have like a good 70% of the storyline already done, right? And if they're already kind of there, it's like, all right, well, what more do we need, right? To Doodle's point, it did get delayed. So they might have started working on Avowed 2 on the story while they were polishing Avowed 1, right? And so they might have had like a couple of years of like that development already done. And Obsidian just is one of those studios that just keeps pumping out games. So they are kind of good at that. So it might be that they were ready to go and that's it, right? So COVID did hit them a little bit, but even then they released other games while COVID was happening, right? So I wouldn't be surprised. And I think that, they've recognized that Obsidian can kind of churn a game out. And that's why they're doing Fallout, because they don't trust Todd will get to it until the year 2035. And like, dude, we're not waiting that long. We need this game now.
We need these games out ASAP.
Yeah, and Obsidian might be like, because they were already working something else. And, my guess is that Obsidian can take a lot of what they already had, rework the assets a bit, and say, this is now a Fallout game, right? And so maybe like they're 30% of the way there,
I believe.
Right? And so the small team is just like, okay, let's just keep working the little bits we can and see how far we get while they're doing, Fallout. That gives them a 2 to 3 year runway, right, to get Fallout out. And if that's the case, hey, maybe we gotten it to the point where it's like 80% done. Once the Fallout game is done, can we take them for 6 months and just polish this thing and put it out, right? To your point, maybe that's what has to happen, right?
I don't want that. I don't want that to happen. Avowed, I liked Avowed too much. I love
nothing.
Avowed. Yes, I'd rather have nothing versus a half-ass attempt to get it out. Especially, like, it kind of annoys me. Like, if Asha's like, listen, guys, as a team, we need to focus. We didn't fire you guys, okay? You saw what happened out here in these streets, okay? You didn't get beat up, right?
Yeah.
We trusted you, and we said you guys are going to go and you guys are going to deliver.
They had layoffs. Didn't they have layoffs?
Small amount, nothing crazy. I haven't heard any massacre of Obsidian.
Not a massacre, but they did lose quite a good number, didn't they?
I don't think it was a big number at all. Doom is the one that lost a lot of. It lost a lot of people. Obsidian is a huge company, studio, and I don't think they lost a lot. But maybe I'm wrong.
25%. 25% of Obsidian. 25%.
Okay, 25%. Yep.
That's
so
pretty
I think
significant.
like 50 people. I think they had like 200 people, so it's like 50 people, give or take. And when you look at 50 people across 3 different games, and you start thinking about redundancies, or 4 different games with Pentiment, right? There's 4 different studios working there. Clearly, Josh Sawyer, the guy who was doing Pentiment, I don't know if you guys know, but Josh Sawyer is the one who's leading the Fallout, New Vegas 2. So they gave him the keys to the ship, or keys to the car, boat.
You know, I think he was
Well,
working that other game, right? The
Debunked.
new game that they're working on.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever it is, he was Pentiment, so he now is doing
No,
Fallout. So I
After
guess
Pentiment, he was working on something else. I think it was
That's
going
what
to
I'm
be a
saying,
new
after
IP
Pentiment,
in that
he moved
Fallout
on.
vein. Yeah.
Oh, so maybe that's what it is. Maybe he already had something going in that similar vein, and they just said, "Let's do
And
that."
they're like, let's just.
But yeah, either way, right? Like, it's like, I don't like the idea that instead of saying, okay, although we didn't create Fallout, like, Avowed ain't it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not. It's not. The game is phenomenal. It's not going to make money.
No.
People, it's already stained. The whole, it got caught up in that whole thing. The what's that shit that they call
Woke?
things? The woke.
Mhm.
It's already
Which, by the way, that
labeled.
person's gone.
The person who worked on it.
Oh, no, the person who made the stupid comments.
Oh. Well, I don't think people are gonna know that or care about that, right? I think Avowed
The damage
is
was
already
done.
done,
I
bro.
think it's the problem. A lot of people, and even in our chat, come in and like, again, we loved Avowed,
We did.
and we've been like very verbal about that, and a lot of people in the chat would be like, never gonna touch it, a woke game, this
Yep.
and that. And it's like, it's been doesn't matter how good the game is if people are not willing to go in and actually
Yes.
play it. And that's another part. Like, understand that we're dealing with social media out there where you put out, everybody, even if you take it down, everybody can take a screenshot and spread it around. Like, you need to go and do your job, your agenda with your personal life or whatever you need to, like, that's yours, right? You need to separate the fact that work is work and go and work on the game. It's just, it comes right back to the fact that there's a lot of sensitivity out there. And if people don't like you, or like for whatever reason, then your game is not going to do well. The end, right? So if you're going to be out there talking, you have to be able to talk in a way that you're going to draw people in, not push people away.
Yeah.
It's just a reality.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you can't just go out there and do whatever you want.
Look, at the end of the day, like, you got to get on board with the team, right? Xbox is saying, hey, we're not healthy. You, Obsidian, no matter how we cut it, you were part of the problem. Avowed did not sell. Outer Worlds 2 did not sell. Pentiment did not sell. The only winner you have is Grounded, and that's made by 12 of you. You know what I'm saying? The rest of you were working on stuff that didn't make the money. Right now, again, I'm all for the artistry. I love those games. Again, I don't care. You can't tell me I don't, because I've been singing their praises for so long. I love them. But at the end of the day, you have to start seeing, okay, we still have our jobs. We're still here, and Xbox wants to go in this direction. We made our emotional projects, right? Our passion projects. We did them. Avowed was yours. You did it. Outer Worlds 2. You did it. Pentiment. You did it. Grounded. You did it. Grounded is safe, right? Grounded is still there. Nobody's touching Grounded. Grounded is going. But everything else, guys, it's time. Get on board. Make the game that the masses want. Look, be popular. You know what I'm saying? Like, you were already the edgy,
cool,
high
don't be
school kids
uncool.
that you thought you were cool, but everybody looked at you and said you're not that cool anymore, guys. Okay, you're not. Listen, go take the W. Okay, Fallout is right there. Look at it. It's sitting there untouched. The flower has not been disturbed in years. You're going to have the opportunity to take your first plunge into the Fallout world. Okay? Take the plunge. Everybody, get on board. Let's make it happen, man.
I mean, listen, I get it. Creativity and all this stuff, but like, you've taken your creative breaks, and those creative breaks, for one reason or another, they didn't work out, and now it's time to lock in and realize that this is a real job in which like they need to make money for you to make money. So put your big boy pants on and get to work. I'm gonna go to Michelle. Michelle says Obsidian still has their street corner. Shake it. I added the shake it. I'm gonna go to Beer Baron, who says, end of the day, we loved Avowed, but it wasn't some blockbuster game like we hoped. And that's just the reality. And to your point, which I'm not sure that you ended up making, it is highly disrespectful. The idea that Asha is giving you guys grace and saying, okay, well, these games didn't work out. Hold up. We're going to figure out how to move forward with you guys. A quarter of your studio, it's already gone. What do you want? You want to be next? Like, listen, I'm going to tell you right now, don't freaking, if that were me, just for the,
Facts.
don't fucking don't piss me off.
I'll tell you right now,
just to make a point,
agreed.
I will walk you out the door.
If I was Asha right now,
and hit you
I
with
see
it.
this report, I don't write an email.
Nope.
I don't
Get
make
to
a phone
stepping,
call.
bitch. No.
If
We're
they're
not
in a
playing these
different
games.
world or in a different country or in a different state, I'm hopping on a plane.
No, they're in California. aren't they?
Okay, I'm hopping in my limo or my car. I'm driving. Maybe you have to take a plane, depending how far in California. But I'm going to the office. I'm walking in. I'm asking them right now, who are the people working on Avowed 2 after we told you guys it
assume
was
they don't know.
canceled?
Asha knows. She already knows about this. They're greenlighting it. They're saying, go ahead, fine. You three people can go keep doing that. She knows
I don't think
about
they
it.
are.
They
I don't think they are. I think
they
that those three people, think about the situation. Those three people, how much do you think they make? 100,000 each?
are. Okay.
Maybe more. $300,000 to do nothing.
Okay.
Though we can't look at the money as if it doesn't matter anymore, Hargeet, because we know they're literally cutting everybody because of the dollars. So I don't think having three people do nothing of value, Avowed 2 is going to sell nothing. It's going to sell worse than Avowed 1 did.
But it doesn't have to make a lot of money. That's the thing, right? Because they're not
But
budgeting.
the problem that they face is that it does have to make a lot of money.
But I think it does affect the name, right? So I think the whole point of what Xbox is doing is they're shedding these lesser named IP, these things that don't make people excited for the brand. Honestly, if Clockwork Revolution wasn't ready to go so soon in the next year or so, honestly, that would have been cut. The fact that they already spent the money, that's the only reason they're like, all right, finish it, go ahead. Because you know what? That game ain't going to do anything anyway. It's doing nothing. Clockwork is Avowed 2.0. It's Outer Worlds 2.0. It will not sell a damn thing any more than Avowed or Outer Worlds. That is going to be plus it's exclusive.
And that's why it's the 2027 exclusive game. 100%.
They know that it's not going to sell, and they're like, all right, go ahead. That's the reason she don't want to give up Fable, because she already seen the numbers for Fable. She already seen the hypeness over there on PlayStation. She knows that this is going to be.
They got a collector's edition out there
to be a Forza than it is to be one of the other games, an Avowed or whatever on PlayStation. So that's the only reason, and I think that's why she won't give up Fable and make it exclusive. But Clockwork is not going to do it, bro. Clockwork is not going to sell. I'm going to love that game. I will most likely review it. Just getting based off of if it fits anywhere near the vibes that I'm expecting with what I loved about Wasteland 3 with Avowed and like that type of gameplay. If they can nail that, I'm going to love that game. I know it. But I also can see very clearly these are not system sellers. These are not sellers to begin with. They're not going to be big splashes. And I just think that Xbox they're going to focus on the biggest and the baddest. They want to take all their money and put it toward things that are going to be big swings, that are going to make money. And unfortunately, I don't think Clockwork is going to do that. And I know for a fact Avowed won't. And I just don't think they want to be associated with it right now. I don't think so.
I got to go to Fillmore Pockets, who says recess is over.
What did he say?
Recess is over.
Recess is over. It is, man. It is. I'm 100% agree.
Oh my god.
I just think that at the end of the day, they're not looking for that. And I mean, you can disagree, and I'm not fighting that. I'm not saying that there's no other possible version of it, but
Yeah,
I
no,
really
I think
don't think so.
they fully know that's happening, obviously, and so they're just letting them continue. It's fine, whatever. I don't think it's gonna. If nothing happens, nothing happens, right? Like there are also incubation teams in any studio to figure out what's the next thing. Maybe the incubation team is just working on this one, and they're like, all right, well, we'll just keep doing this, and if it turns into something of value, it turns into something of value. If not, then we'll come up with the next incubation.
I feel like the incubation team is based off of this new situation, the new regime. I think every incubation team that's in these other companies are gonna be running through the IP list that they're allowed to incubate on. I highly doubt that Asha and the gang are saying, hey, you team that we kept versus all the other creative teams that we had that can incubate creative ideas. You guys are free to just think of something. Let's see what you come up with. I don't think so. I think those days are done. I think this is PlayStation level of curation, where if you don't pitch something that we want, you're done. So I think that they're gonna all be going through the Microsoft Encyclopedia of IP and say, what can we pitch that is gonna keep us employed?
100%.
And listen, to be clear, this is not the Xbox that I wanted. Like, understand this. This is not the Xbox that I wanted. This is the Xbox I was trying to protect.
100%.
This is the Xbox I knew would become if we went down the other route. But here we are. Here we are.
The PlayStation version of Xbox, exactly.
This is 100% the PlayStation version.
Yeah,
exactly.
They became what you all hated. Okay, and now you're gonna learn to love it, because this is the only way that they're gonna move forward. This is the plan. This is just a plan. And I just sadly, as much as I understand the idea about, you know, them still having this possibility of working on these things, I just don't think so. I think
for me, if you're gonna take a route, do it correct. Like, go ahead, dive in, go big, and you're obviously with a lot more studios, right? And funding for those studios, but those ideas have to be filtered, clean, and the vision has to be there, and you have to sell them on that, because it's going to be mostly about, wait, hold on, is this going to sell?
Agreed.
Yeah, but look, I don't mind them doing smaller things too. Again, it's just budget, right? And like, you know, gosh, I know that this is happening.
We don't mind them doing smaller things, Sergey. That was the whole fight.
Fine. Yeah, it's fine. I think Obsidian is going to win out because they're making a Fallout, right? And the Fallout game hopefully will actually attract customers. It will actually do okay, right? And that is why it's okay to have a small team do this. The problem with the other ones, where they were like id, for instance, was looking at games that you're like, why are you looking at that? Why not look at something like a Halo game that would make more sense? But at least
they were looking at IP that exists.
Yeah, so like something that would make sense, right? And like, okay, so but in this case, Obsidian is going to make a Fallout, and that makes a lot more sense. That'll be the big game that you know, keeps them afloat. Look, there's other ones that they've done in the past. They had KOTOR 2, for instance. They could just redo that a bit. They didn't even finish it because they didn't have enough funding. So they could just finish that, like, and put out a new version of that, or maybe take a stab at KOTOR 3.
Aren't they making a remake of KOTOR? Isn't somebody making a KOTOR 1?
Somebody else, Aspire or something, was making KOTOR 1 remake or whatever.
Isn't there like an Eclipse or some crap like that? Eclipse?
Yeah, I don't know. What? Somebody like was, I don't know what happened, because that studio failed miserably, and then I don't know, somebody else may be taking it over. I have no idea, but it's something they could take a look at as well. And there's many other games they could take a look at something else and see if there's something else in the potential world that they could take a look at, and also not just be Fallout, but also one of the other bigger things out there. But yeah, this is just, you know, I think it's just a small team. They're like, you know what, fine, go ahead and keep doing that, but we're not promising anything, right? So, you know, you get to a point where it might be useful. We'll see. If it's useful, then great. If not, then we're not. Because I think what they don't want to do is spend $50 million, $100 million on this game. I don't think they want to go there, right? So if it's like 5 million, 10 million, okay, fine, right? I think that's kind of where Xbox is at, because that unfortunately is the draw that they're going to get, right? So
But that
if
sucks, and that's why I don't want it.
and
Because I want
so,
Avowed to
hey,
be bigger and better, not the same crap or less.
but this is the world we're relegated to now, right? So let's hope they can do something good. Think about the budget of Expedition. Expedition didn't cost a lot, right? And so you make do with what you have, right? And that's what they need to kind of figure out. What was happening before was, okay, sure, we'll give you a bigger budget, and then that never translated into sales, right? But that wasn't the problem on that, on the previous administration. Their vision was different. We just want content, right? And so they're like, okay, we'll go ahead and invest in the content, right? And so it doesn't matter if it doesn't sell, right? P&L didn't matter, right? But now it does. so they're gonna have to have anchor games that will actually draw crowds and actually get engagement. And then they can have smaller things if they want, as long as it's small budget. That's it. So you can do a Pentiment because it's only going to sell 1,000 copies or whatever, right? But
yeah, so that's the thing. I think it's going to be, and this is why I'm like, the way I'm looking at this, I'm so adamant about it, is because I already see what's happening. Like the blinders are off. I know exactly how they're playing this. What they're trying to do is, before they do other things, they want to establish a new network of major hits that are coming on a consistent basis. They have Minecraft King handling that side. Then they have Call of Duty. But Call of Duty, again, has just been proven to be extremely volatile, where you can have the most amazing year ever, and it takes your game, your numbers through the roof and your heroes, or it can tank them when nothing else is there to step up to the plate. And I think that now they want to find their other Call of Duties. Nothing's going to be obviously Call of Duty level, but some things can. Elder Scrolls, for instance, can be something that won't be every year, obviously. But if you can make it where every year you have an Elder Scroll game, not every single year, meaning like every year as the rotation happens, every year you got a game like Elder Scrolls, next year Fallout, next year Wolfenstein, next year Halo, next year Gears, next year, like, you can go ahead and create this pillar that everybody's looking for, and then all of a sudden you have another big game. You want to get fancy? Maybe you have two of them, right? You have an opener and a closer, right? You have something big that starts the year, something big that ends the year, right? As you can pile them up, right? If you can get to something like that, then all of a sudden, if those numbers come in clean, people are buying these games, people are playing these games on Game Pass, therefore keeping the retention on Game Pass and having more subscribers come in. If all those things start to align, then yes, all of a sudden it becomes a thing where it's like, all right, now our base is great, and now we can go ahead and take small, cheap chances on risky little games.
Small steps, but first you gotta fix and clean, and get to a point where you're surpassing where you want it to be. And then from there you can go ahead and take some risk. But right now it's all about the fixing, man. And obviously she mentioned that the games will be out, right? But moving forward, after everything we know about, right? What's next, right? What does that mean for Game Pass? These are things that we're going to find out later on. And things will not just stay the same, right? Now we have a lineup that we're pumped about, and it's like, okay, things are good. But when that lineup of extra is not there, I think we're going to get to a point where we're going to have more time in our hands to do other things.
Yeah.
What was that? I believe you had brought this up to me, and I'm not sure if you talked about it on Tuesday. She had mentioned something about, why am I blanking out? About options, or like on the, I don't know if it was for the console, to have all these, like, she wants to keep it simple, like the simplicity of it it's what players want rather than all these other little gadgets. What was that about?
No,
I don't know
The
if you
simple was the platform. She
the
wants to
okay.
keep it simple, which was the layers. She wanted to get rid of the 14 layers, get it down to less than 5, 3
Okay.
where possible. Yeah, I mean she's gonna be doing major work here. Like,
100%.
that's just what it is. She's gonna do major work with the studios. But you know, overall, I think you know, I think when I look at this, for me, it's cute that they're trying to keep it alive. I think it's super disrespectful when the boss says, "Hey, you get to keep your job. We're canceling that game. We want you to go work on the big IP that everybody wants, that every player wants to have. We need you to go deliver that." And you're still latching on to this part 2 of a game that could come out later when you can give it its proper due, when you earn that spot, right? When
With
you
that
earn
said,
that
if they
spot.
do drop that and it's a new story, like it was stunning. It was stunning.
It was stunning
So
for when
it
it
would
came
be-
out, but you know,
it wasn't
your
that long
stuff
ago.
changed. Yeah, but I've already seen what's coming. I've seen Halo 5. I mean, Halo campaign Evolve looks crazy good. Like there's so many games that already are blowing past these older games, and it's not that in isolation the games are ugly or bad, but I'm ready to.
If there are
gonna
smaller
watch
indie
next.
games that can be played, yeah, of course, the standard that Avowed had, I think that if it came out with that same foundation, it will still look absolutely stunning to a level that some can't reach yet. So for me, it would be a W. Of course, I will get in there. New story, new character design, like Hargi brought up before. Yes, great. With that said, yeah, Asha's shoes, that's a whole different situation. If this is some behind her back thing, plotting nonsense, that's a whole different thing. But for me, if they went ahead and dropped it, great.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you know, when it comes to me, like I care about the graphics a lot, and I don't ever stand still. Right? What's cool today is not cool tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
You don't, but I think you're also forgetting the level of quality that they delivered.
No, I think it's good. I think it's gonna be great. And if they did come out with something similar, it would be like, all right, wow, this looks good. But there would be better looking games out there. Where Avowed was one of the best looking games when it launched, and that year, frankly.
Again,
and it's
last
not
year?
going to be that going. Yeah, it's not going to be that going forward. So they would need to. I want something bigger and better. It just in my mind, it would make me like it less immediately if it's more of the same. That's the way I would feel. It's just like Spider-Man. Like, see, I got to keep the same energy across the board, right? People will say Spider-Man looks beautiful, so it's okay that Spider-Man 2 looks just a little bit better than Spider-Man.
I think
it doesn't.
Spider-Man was
right.
all the problem with the bugs and all the nonsense that it had was
No,
the big
graphically, it looked-
issue.
graphically, the bugs were the last thing I knew about because the bugs weren't talked about till the game came out.
Yes, but until you found out about the bugs, it was all great and dandy.
For who? Not for me.
Yes.
No, are you kidding me? The whole time we talked crap about Spider-Man 2. 100%.
No.
That it looked
No.
the same.
It was when
crap.
we found out all the
Baby.
extra nonsense.
No.
PlayStation
100%.
don't have amnesia. PlayStation
100%.
sold their games very well. The one thing they can do is market like a motherfucker.
Nope, not
And
Spider-Man
they
2.
did that
Or
with a lot of their games.
God of
Coming
War.
into this,
That one as well.
yeah, coming into this gen, bro, they freaking sold it.
Yeah, but not when they showed us the game. The little trailer teaser that they had at the beginning of Spider-Man was like, oh snap, this is gonna be crazy.
Exactly.
And then they didn't. They didn't deliver for that. They didn't deliver for God of War. They're not delivering for Wolverine. They're in the same exact boat. These are all games that are just refreshers of old shit. And that's what
They're
I don't
not
want to see
delivering
more.
for Wolverine, and we're talking about much further into the generation, but we're not talking about when these other games were dropped. That's why the collector's editions were so dope, because you didn't go in expecting that it was going to be the same nonsense until you got in there. Their marketing, it's crazy. So it was like, okay, you got me. Got it. So you guys are not stepping into the PlayStation 5 generation. You're still stuck on that PlayStation 4 movement. And so that was the problem. But they sold the crap out of these things. 100%.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think maybe I don't know how you're remembering it, but
I don't know how you're remembering
I know for sure. For me, Spider-Man, God of War, we ended up getting it because in that time we were already in the PlayStation. I bought the PlayStation. That's the point. We already had the PlayStation, so I wanted to get it. But
you can't.
I knew that it didn't look good. I was just getting it because I already had it. Same thing with God of War Ragnarok. It was like, all right, fine, it's coming out. Let me get it.
Yeah, but it was like, how bad can it be until you got your hands on it, right?
It worse.
So that's the problem.
And technically, they were still upgrades, right? They just weren't great upgrades, right? But obviously, it wasn't
CMoney,
better.
You have to also look at the fact that they spent $300 million to make Spider-Man 2. They're not going to spend $300 million to make Avowed 2, right? So that might have like a $30 million budget. So it's not going to be anywhere near. Like,
exactly. So
that's
why less of a jump. When I like something, I want it to improve for the next one.
There we have a case to make. You spent $300 million and that's the jump. Like, come on, dude. Right? That's why it makes sense to say that's just not enough. You're spending that much, then the expectation goes up, right? Now, it may be good, but whatever. Maybe we're getting to the point where it's tough to make more upgrades. But in the case of Avowed 2, if they're spending like 20, 30 million, I just don't expect that much difference, right? I'm just expecting a new story, same landscape.
Which is what I don't want. Like, I don't want
mind that because I just want more games, right? So, and I prefer lower budgets.
Yeah, how much was the budget for Avowed, Hargi? Do you know?
Let's find out, because I'm sure they invested a lot more because they expected more sales.
Yeah,
and I think it went into development longer with the delays and stuff.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So the longer you push it, that means you're funding those people for longer with nothing coming in.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any actual budget numbers. Revenue breakdown. Let's see if it has how much it cost. 100 to 150 million budget.
Yeah.
100 to 150 million, and
they didn't even announce a number.
They did not.
They did not announce a million.
Did not sell that. It did not.
So they didn't even sell a
It
million.
did not sell
now,
that
when
much
you look at the world of Avowed and you see how it looks, the music, everything in there, right? And then you think of Spider-Man 2, or like you said, God of War. Do you see the difference between the two?
Between
the PlayStation,
what the other ones were?
Yes,
but my problem with those games is not Avowed versus them. It's Spider-Man 1 versus Spider-Man 2 and God of War 1 versus God of War 2.
Meaning, if you're looking at that investment and you see how much they spend on Avowed and you see how stunning it looked, and if obviously this is a next-gen game, right? To do a turnaround and you have a different story in there, it's not that difficult. I think you're forgetting what Avowed was.
They could do. I'm talking about what I personally want, and I don't want that. I want a real sequel. I want a real big game. If you're gonna do it right. If you're not gonna, then let it stay dormant.
Yeah,
People were not hyped.
That's happening.
People were not hyped on it already. Just let it stay dormant. Make Fallout later on. You come out with Avowed.
I doubt Xbox would invest another $100 million into Avowed. I just don't see that.
Exactly.
So let it sleep.
But
I got my memories. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy with what the game was. Right?
Again, I would be happy with a $20 million budget if they can put something out, just like Expedition, like that. That was a pretty low budget, right?
Listen, the one thing is I gotta keep the same energy across the board. Like I can't say it's okay for one and not the other. For me, as a gamer, I don't care about their dollars. That's not my problem. I don't care what they spend or what they don't spend. When I'm talking about the game itself, with me playing it and me wanting what I want from it.
That's why I said it's a personal thing, because when you are talking about other people that may have loved the game, right? And they are okay with the standard of where the last game dropped, and we're looking at a year later and them rushing, thinking that they can maybe get it done before they get the next task. More Avowed, it's acceptable when we're talking about such a small gap in time. And so if this was the only game that they were dropping this year, yeah, I get the fury. Oh my God, this is what they're doing. This is what they showed up with. Look at the leaps between the two. But we're not talking years apart. We're not talking substantial.
Unless it's a DLC or or just like a little expansion.
It could be.
It can't be part 2. If you want to make it a expansion, okay, fine. If this is part 2, if this is Avowed number 2, I don't want to hear any shit about, oh, this is a cute little, we're just scrounging it together on the side. No. You want to make DLC? Go ahead. Part 2, I ain't with it.
Agree to disagree.
No, that's of course, man. I mean, no, I don't. Whatever anybody feels is fine. It's only what I feel that I care about when it comes to this stuff. I don't care. I don't want it to come. If it's gonna come strong. If you're not, go. It don't matter to me. I'm not looking forward to it. I don't care. I'd rather them work on Fallout. That's what I want. I want them to go work on Fallout, make it amazing, earn some budget, earn the time, earn the ability to get us a team that's working on Avowed again to go make it good, or Outer Worlds 3 or whatever it is. I don't want any half steps. I want the real deal, and that's all that I kind of care about in that way. Okay. Now, anything else on Avowed before we keep it moving?
Let's hope they finish it. Throw it in Game Pass. Let's go.
Margit? Good?
Agreed. That's what I want. Just finish it and don't spend a lot and throw it in Game Pass. I'm fine.
Listen, I'm happy to be the odd man out. I'm all right. I give me Fallout. Put aside Avowed. Either way, it is what it is. All right. Next. Xbox supposedly is going to be having a big reveal next week. So we've heard rumors about this, and now it looks like it's gonna happen. Xbox is teasing something big for next week amid disc to digital rumors. The rumored Xbox disc to digital feature could be here soon. So it says the future is looking increasingly digital for next-gen video game consoles, but one method that might ease the transition is a disc to digital service that allows users to bring their libraries with them. While there is speculation that this feature will launch around the time that Xbox debuts its next-gen console, Project Helix, a first taste of the future might be arriving sooner than expected. Xbox insiders received a message in lieu of an update this week, with Xbox's program lead, Brad Rossetti, teasing that something big was on the way. Quote, Xbox insiders on console, as you have seen, we pause flighting this week as we prep for next week. Thanks for being patient. Oh, wait. As we prep for week next? That don't make no sense for next week. I don't know, whatever. Thanks for being patient. The wait is worth it. Or the wait is worth the wait, I promise. What English is happening here? Okay, it's breaking my mind. Jesus.
What in the what's that thing? Rosetta
Stone? What the hell? Okay, so yes, that's the rumor. That's the rumor that next week we're getting the Xbox disc to digital program revealed, if not released, or at least released to insiders.
That's crazy.
I think that's really smart to start now.
That's crazy.
Getting people used to the idea of having the disc to digital situation happen, so then by the time Helix is revealed, if there is no disc on that, it's already like, hey, and guess what? All those discs you have, just go ahead and use the disc to digital program and you're good to go. All your games will work.
Like a preset.
Yeah, like getting people ready to go. This is widely rumored to be the first look at Xbox disc to digital program, something that Windows Central editor Jez Corden, who has filed several reports on the feature, teased its debut with a Positron cometh tweet. This is reportedly the code name for rumored disc to digital feature, with other reports claiming that Xbox Play Anywhere will give users the option to switch from physical to digital. I mean, it's a genius thing too, because they have Xbox Play Anywhere, and it's pretty damning that if you buy a physical game, you don't have access to it. So although you own the game, you don't have the ability to take advantage of one of the best features that Xbox offers, right? Xbox Play Anywhere is fantastic. And then that's it. It just kind of goes into, PlayStation and other such things. But yeah, I mean, I think this would be huge if they go with it now, if they go early. Okay. I think that's a big deal. I think that they get it out early. They do it now. They get people adjusted to this idea of what it is, what it means for their physical games. And then you're good to go. This is essentially the version that I love when it comes to buying physical movies, which is you buy a physical disc, you get the code as well. But in that world, they're actually separate. One's not tied to the other. So if there was a store that you can trade in a movie, you could technically buy a movie, take the digital code, put it up, and then trade in your movie. But why would you do that? If you would just buy digital, then why would you need to even buy the movie? Whatever. The point is that this is that version. Like, this is a version of that, where now all of a sudden when you buy a game, you're also getting a digital entitlement, right? You put it in, it becomes a digital game, and the disc is just a key, right? So now I see Power Boss in the chat saying problem with Project Positron is it doesn't currently do OG Xbox or 360 games. Fair point, right? Fair enough, right? I understand that. That's not great for the people who want that. But still, it's a big step in the right direction, right? It's taking the biggest problem is that your current games that you own right now wouldn't be playable on a next-gen console that doesn't have a disc drive if you only have a disc. And that solves this problem. Look, the OG stuff, I'm sure they'll figure out a way. We already heard, and guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember there was a piece of news that came out a while ago that Xbox was already looking into doing emulation of the OG games to work on PC, right? Your OG games that you own to be able to have it work on PC. Maybe that's part of it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe
the OG Xbox and 360 games, it's because the disc doesn't have the ability to be a single source disc. They're just generic discs, right? So this is the Xbox One technology, essentially, right? The Xbox One technology.
Of course. It's finally coming to life.
So each disc is its own unique disc, right? And that's how they can do this. They can say that disc specifically is yours. Fair enough. You own that license. We'll give you the digital entitlement. But if somebody takes that disc, puts it somewhere else, it's gone. And that's why that works. It doesn't work with the OG Xbox or 360 discs because it was never imagined at the time, right? So that's why.
Yeah. Well, what do you think about what do you guys think about this coming out now before Helix?
Again, Asha can read the room, and it's very obvious that there's a backlash that's even overshadowed the ridiculous layoff stuff and all that stuff, and all the media still going after Xbox when they should be talking about what PlayStation did, because that's still where the PlayStation fans are. They don't care about the Xbox stuff as much. They're like, but the physical discs, though, what's going on there, PlayStation, right? They're still on that. PlayStation thought that it was going to get blown over when they knew Xbox was going to put out, the layoffs. But smartly, yes, they did layoffs, but they closed no studios, none. So it wasn't as bad. What happened on the other side was bad. You're taking away something from people who bought a PS5 with a disk drive and saying, well, throw away your disk drive. It ain't going to be worth anything anymore because we're just not going to do it anymore. It's like, hold on. So people are pissed. So Asha reads the room and says, hey, we need to have an announcement in this arena. Now, if she really reads the room and does it right, you say we have no plans to stop physical for the series consoles. We will talk more about Project Helix when the time is right. But for today, we're going to give you this feature, leaving it wide open that you could potentially still have a disk drive accessory or a disk drive based Helix, right? Just leave that wide open. Do not come out and say that we're going to, have a digital only next gen, because then you have time to go figure it out. But you can at least assure your customers, if you buy a Series X with a disk drive, your disk drive will not become a useless turd come January 2028. You will still be getting physical releases, and we are committing to continue to do so. Not only that, we're giving you the ability to take your physical release and make it into a digital copy that you can use to play anywhere, wherever you like, right? So the best of all worlds, right? So they can make this message really cool and really overshadow some of the bad news of this week, and also just totally pour salt on the wound of PlayStation, who's doubled down that they're done with physical releases. So I don't know. That's what I see. And she has been really good about reading the room and saying, how do I twist this? And look, it would be so hilarious if they do the counterpoint of this is how you share games. Not anymore.
God. Do you think they're going to do that? Because this doesn't necessarily mean that 100%, right? Like this could just be hey, we're also going to have no disc going forward. So this is just to get rid of your back collection.
Don't even bother saying that. Don't say that at all. I would
not
not
right
say that
now.
At all.
Not at all.
I wouldn't touch
not
that.
at all.
Yeah,
right now, this is exactly, I don't know if you remember, Hargi, you brought up on our last Friday show how she needs to take advantage of this time. What's happening with PlayStation, use it to your benefit. And that this is exactly what this sounds like to me as well. So she's time to get to milking.
I mean, I think it's
twist
genius.
That knife in their back.
So you have to be very this is the problem that's going to happen. Okay. They'll go ahead and they'll announce this, right? And then what is going to be the question that every media outlet now is going to write reports on? And what are they going to report? Instead of saying this is amazing, they're going to say, well, my sources at the place told me that they're actually going to stop doing this, just like PlayStation, and this is just a way to shut you guys up and be the solving of the problem. To now what's going to happen with your disc. But there's I feel like unless she comes out and says, hey, there will be a disc drive in the next Xbox.
If they can make that definitive statement, they should.
I think that's the only thing, because anything other than that will still leave that whole, it's going to do the same thing. And even though this is amazing, because at least I love this because I feel like they have a solution for your games that you have for Series X on the disc, for that when that time comes and you go to Helix, you can take all your games with you.
But that's the point. That's the point, right? You're not leaving all that money behind.
Yeah.
The conversation we had about PlayStation is that now you're going to go ahead and make a diskless, and you're done with physical copies, and you're stuck, right? You're stuck with that box that you bought. You can't go trade it in because you have to get rid of all those games. Your library, it's coming with you, even if Helix is diskless, right? She's being very clear. This is very clear. We're moving into the digital world, right? So we have a solution for your games that are physical copies so that they're not stuck back there, so that you don't not play them again, right? Here we go. This is how you move forward into this part of the generation, right? Or into what gaming is turning into, right? The acknowledgement that, yes, it's a digital world now. This is how you keep what you already invested in is the key selling point. You're not going to lose your library here. You're going to bring it with you.
Agreed. I mean, I think that's 100% true. And I think she has to still finagle the announcement for that other people won't run with the narrative and downplay this. right? Like, yes, they're gonna do this, but they're still taking away your physical media going forward, right? Like,
But I
that
don't
is
think
gonna-
that has been addressed. And I think there's a reason why
Exactly.
that has not been addressed. And I think that this is how they need to keep moving forward. There's no need to have that conversation. PlayStation want to come out here and shoot themselves in the foot 15 times. Great for them. No problem. You can't come at me if I'm trying to figure out how you can still bring over your games to the new console, even if they're physical copies. There's no way you're going to come at me for any nonsense. You can say, I'm not doing freaking physical copies either. Yes, that's what it's turning into in 2028 and forward. But right now, I'm protecting your investment. That's it.
I mean, I hope they go
Agreed.
the full physical is still there and
Agree,
become
Hardy.
the darlings of the entire industry in one fell swoop. Because right now, media is annoyed at them at PlayStation. The retailers are pissed off. The physical media people who make them are pissed off. They're and all the fanboys of their platform are pissed off.
Yep.
So this is the time to just say, but we're gonna keep you all going. We're gonna keep the physical for those who want it. No problems. We'll still do it. And look, the majority of their player base still buys digital. Is it really going to make that much of a dent on their bottom line? Probably not. But it will make a huge PR awesomeness move if they say we're not getting rid of that. You can still buy physical if you want to, right? And we will do that into next gen. If they can make that kind of announcement, holy crap, would that just flip the script on PlayStation?
I agree, but I also think that, the gallopers are getting screwed and they're being very verbal about it. Yes, I agree with you 1,000%. I hope that they still make physical copies because that option should be there. No ifs or buts about it. But I think right now what she's focusing is the fact that they're getting screwed. And right now you can look at Xbox and be like, even if they do end up going digital, look at how they're protecting their consumers and the money that they've invested on that brand already. Moving forward, do I want to be somewhere where they're just going to pull the plug and say this no longer exists and this is how we're moving forward? Leave it or not. You know what I'm saying? Take it or leave it. Or do I want to be on a boat where it's like, okay, I invested here, but my investment is safe for the most part.
It's secure, and not for nothing, but this if they keep physical and PlayStation is staying on their route where they're not. It's funny because we've discussed all these different things, like what can make people move. Well, I can tell you right now, the physical game buyers who feel like they can safely take their physical games, go buy them secondhand, however they want, go to the store, go buy them cheap, right? Because they're older games. Like if they have to rebuy their collection, right? They could do it cheap and go to Xbox, go buy an Xbox, play their games there, have it digital. I mean, if there was any one movement that can help sway that narrative, that is the movement that I think would happen.
100%.
And with this feature, it's so awesome that you get the benefits of both, right? You can go get a secondhand disc and say, okay, but I still get my full play anywhere. I still get my full digital copy that I can use anywhere I want to. It's like the best of all worlds. So I think it'd be an awesome win if they said, yep, we're just continuing, but we'll see what they do. But this is a pretty cool thing if they explain it right, that, hey, you still keep your disc, you sell your disc and the game goes with it. You're done. It doesn't matter. You can still trade it in, right? However, you can get the digital rights of that game, even if you have the physical, right? That's fantastic news, right? But
that is 100%.
I would love it. I would love it if she just comes out and shoves it in PlayStation's face and says, "Oh, we're not
100%, dude. This is not a here. Well,
physical.
You got screwed, but here's your next option to buy the game. This is
absolutely
no. We're cool, and this is not something that they're investing in. This, understand? Like they could have said, "We made our money off of you. You want something else? Go ahead and buy it." No, this is an investment that they're making for our investment. That's a big deal. However you cut it, I don't think that it's put out there in that way. And maybe the verbiage should be differently when it's out there. We are investing so that your investment is not lost. See, they have a lack of way with words, but like up front, we're spending money so that you don't have to. That's the reality. Bring that up.
Now, let me ask you guys this. Do you think that they will let's kind of look at the elephant in the room. Xbox says they're in their business is unhealthy, right? It's not healthy. And realistically speaking, I'm sure Xbox is on the same path with PlayStation as far as the scale of how many people buy digital versus physical. And I mean, do they say for the win of the people's, feeling good, the hardcore people, the small percentage of people who buy physical, to get that win, we're going to forego the growth and profit we will have from minimizing the way people can buy our games outside of our store going forward on the next gen? Because aside from what I just said, right, one of the things to keep in mind is that Xbox, all they have to do is not announce that they're stopping disc for Xbox Series and below, and it's a W.
Yeah.
Right. So because remember, PlayStation is out, not for PlayStation 6, PlayStation 5, they're donezo.
Exactly. Yeah.
So even if Xbox is like, nah, Helix is digital, it's not going to be that way. As long as they keep selling the games of, making them available for the other boxes, it's still a W, right? But like, I guess if they don't do that, then there's not really much of a win anyway, because the majority of their games are still going to be sold on the Series X and S or the Series X. And that's going to be, I guess there is still that portion that are going to buy physical. I don't know. Maybe it's just not worth it. Maybe you guys are right. I don't know. I don't know if they would forego that profit, and just follow suit with PlayStation.
I mean, a win is a win, right? And getting market share is what they need. And having people that are upset say, I'm going here because you're supporting the thing I want. It's a big deal. And like another thing that would be awesome is they announce an actual external accessory disk drive, so that if you have a Series S today, you can now buy that drive. Granted, it might cost you $100, $50. I don't know what it costs, but who cares? People who are so pissed off, they will buy it. Right? They will go buy that disk drive just because it's like, yeah, cool. Then I can go buy my physical games anywhere and I can use them. And now you're giving me this digital option too. Fan-freaking-tastic, right? So, sell it at a massive profit. But people can go buy a disk drive accessory and say, this disk drive, by the way, will be compatible with Helix.
Yeah.
Dude, if just say those words.
Dude, you are now taking the Series S and turning it in to a box that you can now take your physical game collection and play it on your S.
Now, I don't know if they have that kind of messaging ready or not, but if it's me, if I'm reading the room, that's exactly. I would throw it in PlayStation's face and say, not only are we taking your lunch, we're taking it all the way to your dinner, and we're going to do everything we can to screw you over with the messaging you put out. And we're going to turn it right around and get all those market, the people that are pissed off on your side into our side to get the market share from them. Why the hell not? Right? This is like a perfect opportunity.
I agree with you. And that's who, and I mean this in the best way. Asha seems to be, when it comes to business, an opportunist, right? I hear you.
Yep.
Right? I hear you.
Yep.
So she shifts and molds herself into what? If something's causing damage, hold on.
You.
This exactly.
She puts it on you.
Exactly. This is what
I'm doing. What you want. This is not my decision as a CEO with just me saying this is what I think should happen. I'm hearing you. You're telling me to do this, so I'm inherently a tool that you guys are using. So if it doesn't work out, this is your fault, not mine. You know what I'm saying?
But the whole point is that trajectory we were seeing, that she's trying to keep it on an upwards. This is how you navigate through that. And this would be huge in that situation. And it's also concerning, knowing who she is and how she handles this, that these are the things that are coming out, which are absolutely fantastic. But she has not come out here and said that, we are moving forward with this as well, which makes me think that maybe that's just not what they're doing, unless they're still discussing back and forth the situation and how this can possibly happen. The fact that it's been hush hush, when I see how smart she is, and this is a perfect opportunity in the right moment to bring something like this up, it's just maybe it's not there.
Also, like, knowing her with this I hear you situation, I think she's gonna, if she's smart, which we see her being smart, right? I think she's gonna know how it'll go if she makes the announcement of the other way. And so instead of putting yourself in a position where people are gonna lash out at you if you take away the disk drive, if you're gonna do I hear you anyway, why not hear them before they're talking to you while they're talking to PlayStation and make the right decision now?
Absolutely. And I think let them take the heat for as long as they need to take that heat. This storm will calm, right? Normally, this is what PlayStation does. Xbox comes out here as a freaking shield to take the hit, take the punches, and then they come out here and do the same freaking crap, and they get no heat for it because they're just coming along, and it's just what they're doing out there. So PlayStation is just following along, so it's not their fault. This is the first time in a big way where PlayStation is coming out here, taking the heat, and you put things out like this, right? And later on, you're just following along with what the freaking digital world has turned into. It's not on you. You're just doing what you have to do.
So the ancillary benefits of doing this, if they just say, look, we're keeping physical, every retailer is going to push the Xbox over the PlayStation. And that's even in Europe, is physical more, right? They're more physical sales for discs.
Is this Xbox is way into these other countries?
100%, dude. Because suddenly they're going to be like, oh, that one keeps me employed. I'm selling the Xbox because they're keeping what
look at how many businesses are going to get affected by this decision that PlayStation put out there.
That's really true.
Yep.
That's really, really, really true.
Yeah, it's a big W for the contender that needs to grow. Just take the win. Just take the win. You're already like doing what you can to survive. You're already doing that with all the studio things, right? So you're doing that anyway, right? I don't think Modern Warfare 4 is going to flop the way that Black Ops 7 did. So I think they're going to solidify that anyway. Take the hit. Just take the hit here. Get the PR win. It's going to be so big.
And this is what PlayStation is doing, right? We talked about how they're going to control the prices, and it's no longer you find it at a store for sale, right? And it's at a cheaper price. Same thing. Maybe this all ties into the conversation that they were having about not putting their games on PC too, right? You want our games? Come here. You don't go to a store. You don't go anywhere else but our digital store. In that way, they keep all of the profit, and they're not making a box and a disc and all the other stuff. I think there's a lot to gain, like you brought up, Hargi, when you go ahead and you're the one in the store, right? Because we haven't heard from Nintendo, and realistically, I don't see Nintendo taking away physical copies. And so if you're the one standing there with Nintendo, just like they now push PlayStation, what they're going to go ahead, like Hargi said, is push your box.
So what I will say, though, when you do think of Nintendo, though, I think you're right, but at the same time, they have both feet in the pond here.
Agreed.
Because they already are selling you a box that only has a key.
Yep.
That you have to download the game. No different than what Xbox and PlayStation will be doing when they sell a box, even if Xbox has a disc in it, right? It's just a fancy key, right? It's a
But I think that
key, but PlayStation is still going to sell a box. It's just going to have a code in there like Grand Theft Auto. They're just getting rid of the disc for the most part.
but doesn't because Nintendo still has their cartridges,
The
their
cartridges,
little
but some of them
yes,
have nothing on it.
but okay, but they could, meaning a lot of the issues are that bigger games cannot just sit in that disc. They
Yeah,
can't. It
even
can't.
smaller games have
but-
the key.
Yes,
version.
meaning the way Nintendo makes their games, it's more of a choice. Their games actually do sit well on that
Well,
on
the
that
choice
cartridge.
they have that they give is to the developers, and that's why developers choose to buy the smaller memory
Mhm.
and make the consumer download the rest. But that's also why some developers are saying, I don't want anything on there. Give me the cheapest cartridge you make, and we're gonna go ahead and have them download everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So they're already there because they already put it. If it Nintendo doesn't even have a say in it outside of their own first party games, they give all third parties the ability to choose what they want to do. So if third parties across the board said no more physical discs, they can choose that with Nintendo. You know what I'm saying? So Nintendo's just not have made it a mandate across the board, and a lot of devs are smartly seeing the reaction to this, and a lot of the push is now the game is on a disc. You know what's this crazy shit? And again, well, you know what? I'll save it, but because we're gonna talk about it in the members only area. But like I'll just say it now, PlayStation devs are using PlayStation's like their mandate saying, and the game is on the disc.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like God of War Lafay, whatever. Now we know it's coming out next year for sure because they announced that it's on a disc.
Okay.
And we know in 2028,
in 2028 it's over. So
it's over. So
it has to be out by next year.
Yeah.
So it's like that's a crazy situation. But I mean, that's what it is, man. They're already there. So it really just depends on Asha. I can tell you right now, this moment right here will solidify Asha's like legendary status. Okay.
Oh yeah.
If she realizes that if you're doing like she's already taken the loss in profit on certain things for the love of the game, right? For the love of the hardcore people who want their exclusives and all this stuff, right? So why that's already a small fragment of people, right? So physical buyers are another small fragment of people, right? Who love that. And why don't you give them the W? You give it to them, and all of a sudden you're the hero. Okay, people will put up statues of you, Asha. Do you want a statue, Asha? Because if you do, give the people what they want and let physical live on not only this generation,
it's such a
but
big deal.
next generation.
Next generation. Yeah, it's such a big deal. Developers, gamers,
Stores,
everybody.
retailers,
Yeah.
everybody. You guys nailed it. There's so many people who would love it. But before we do that, let's get our before we keep going. The homie Bounty
what's
in the
good?
shout out to you, man. Thank you for being a
Thank
member
you.
for 30 months.
It's wild, bro. Thank you
30
so much. Appreciate it.
months. Shout out to you, Bounty. You the man. He says all Asha have to do is tweet out, we will have a disc one and a digital helix, and it would be over. Facts. I would say I agree with you. I think what Hargeet said is probably the better solution. I think the helix should be digital by default. Keep it out of the box. And if you want one, you buy a little plug-in disk drive.
I think that's a easier way. That's the better way. That's here you have a choice.
Yep,
We're
because
not
then-
screwing you over.
Because then you could do markup on that disk drive.
Yep.
Like Hargeet said.
Understand.
mark
Oh
it
my
up.
God, eBay
You
will
can
go
sell it for
crazy.
$100 when it costs you $10 or
Yep.
$5 or less. You know what I'm saying? So you can recoup a lot of your money on this cheap disk drive.
100%, because people
And
don't want to see that bigger number
they don't
on
wanna
the
see
console.
the
The
box.
number's already
Make
going
the
to be
number
big.
big.
Yeah.
Keep that off. Just make it a simple situation, and you're good to go. Or this would be the other crazy thing. It's highly unlikely, and I don't even know if it's desirable. But what if Xbox can make a disk drive that spins faster than an SSD? Okay, and then you could just go back to the old way where the game just runs off the disk. You know what I'm saying? No hard drive, guys. You don't need it. Go back to a memory card for saves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then all your games just run off the disk natively.
That
wild.
would be
Crazy.
Full circle.
That would be wild. But yes, I agree, Bounty. She just needs to do that tweet. It'll be over. But I think she's waiting. She wants the impact. She wants the answer that other people might be asking. And I think that's what this is. And then he's back.
Big. This needs to get figured out.
100%.
This is some talking.
Bounty's back with another $5 super chat, man. I appreciate you, my dude.
Thank
he says, you know what would be crazy? Oh, crazy, he says.
Yeah, what's crazy?
If they say you could bring your PlayStation games and make it digital, I think he meant digital on your Xbox.
That
as
would
long
be
as
crazy.
it is also on the Xbox.
Oh my God, Bungie, that would be insane.
So you're saying have people take their collections and
What
just
they're
buy
crying
their
about.
stuff? I mean, listen, that would be crazy, but that would require the problem is
That's
that
definitely
you won't be
crazy.
able to take away their license on the PlayStation. So that will require developers saying, okay, your Xbox Play Anywhere extends to other consoles at this point.
But older games on PC, you'll be able to play on Helix.
True.
Yeah. So there is a possibility of doing something like this, but not the way he's saying it. What you do is you partner with a GameStop or an equivalent and say, we'll fund the ability for them to trade the PlayStation disc for the Xbox disc. Right. And let them just go get it. Okay. And so Xbox will take the hit and say, whatever the delta is, we'll pay for it. Right. And I don't know how much that would cost, but let's say worldwide, however many people do this, it's $1 billion. That's pocket change. It's pocket change to just suddenly say to any PlayStation player, we got you covered. Go ahead and bring your entire library. We'll convert it for you.
But that's only physical.
Only physical.
That's only physical. Digital is what he's saying.
That's their problem.
Like if you have it on digital, yeah, he can't.
No,
do
I thought
it
he
digital.
said physical, right? I thought he said physical.
He said bring your PlayStation games and make it digital on your Xbox as long as
No, meaning like
Xbox.
like ported into your Xbox.
Like do the
from
disc
the
to digital
yeah.
rumor.
Yep.
Oh shit. Okay, use the disc to digital. Disc to digital.
And you're done, right? So you just give them the Xbox disc, and now they can do the disc to digital if they want, up to them. But they've got the game. And you just do that everywhere and let them
I mean, honestly, you don't have to pay, like you can make a deal with GameStop or these places because to be fair or to be real, like they would only do it on their used games, right? So you would have to find like they would have to have the used game in stock for Xbox that you're bringing for PlayStation. Do a swap. I mean,
right?
It's a possibility.
Sounds like a side hustle for GameStop.
What is happening here? Are we creating a business? Should we buy stock in GameStop?
Apparently.
Again? You know what I'm saying?
Xbox plays it correctly, they could do pretty crazy things here. The other thing I thought about should be hilarious. Hire Shuhei Yoshida and Adam Boyce to do the same skit.
Oh, just to do the skit?
That would be crazy.
That would be wild.
Oh, I will love that.
That would be wild.
That would be amazing. Woo!
That would be real crazy. Not for that. That would be
Damn.
that would be real insane.
That'll be dope. That'll be dope.
Wow.
How you like me now?
Damn.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
It would
That
be.
would be pretty
It
epic,
would be
bro.
like dead ass. It would be real crazy. It would be really crazy, actually. That would be really funny. That would be really funny. There's nobody to do that on the Xbox side. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's gone.
No, it has to be him. I feel like,
That's wild.
yo, talk about war.
Or you bring back what's his name? The Xbox guy who did this. The guy who did the Xbox One generation. I can't remember his name for some stupid reason. Oh God. What was that?
Matrick.
Matrick,
They
yes.
said Matrick.
Yeah, no, Don Matrick. Yep, Don Matrick with Shuhei. And they're both perplexed. Wait a second.
Oh my God. Listen, she said we're going to go back, right? So to that era, right? To that time. I feel like that's the attitude that we need to bring in order to make it real, Asha.
It'd be hilarious.
That would be crazy. People will lose their freaking mind, Hargi.
Yep.
Rightfully so. Rightfully so. That would be wild. But no, I think this is a huge opportunity. I think they're playing it well. With PlayStation coming out here and pissing so many people off. So have you seen any updates with the lawsuit and the petition that they had going on about physical games?
I've heard mention that there's like a whatchamacallit, what is it? Just a signature petition thingy, right? For keeping the physical.
Yeah, but then they had a lawsuit, and last we heard it was holding up because it was still going. But that was
that was the monopoly issue, right? The digital store monopoly thing. Yeah. That's still going as far as I understand. There's one in California where they lost, so they had to Sony lost, so they had to pay out something with small amounts. But the one in the UK, I think, is still going on.
Okay. They just got to get smacked up with a bunch of lawsuits for their nonsense.
Yep.
Well,
but man, it would be so hilarious if they actually pull off a, I mean, I suppose they could do something with Major Nelson and somebody. I don't know who they would want to, put on the other. Maybe it is Don Matrick or something. I don't know.
Maybe.
But it would be so much better if they could get Shuhei.
Listen, I feel like Shuhei right now is out there in the world with a different energy. Shuhei will betray.
Hilarious.
If approached properly. I feel like,
oh my goodness. I'm sure both of those guys are pretty well off. But it's like, write a big enough check just to make that freaking PR moment.
Listen, Hargi, for the right amount, I'm sure Shuhei.
Or maybe just Adam Boys and Asha. You know what I'm saying? So instead of bringing, because Adam Boys works for Iron Giant or Iron Galaxy, or no, he left Iron Galaxy actually to do his own thing. So he's a free agent now. He can. Yeah. He can be swayed. He's not. you can get him. You can get him. For
sure.
My
goodness, that would be so awesome.
Sure. All right. Listen. Okay. This was a good conversation. We're actually gonna continue this conversation just on the PlayStation side of it and their stance on this whole thing. But we will be switching over to our members only portion of the stream. Guys, thank you all so much for coming through. Remember, if you're a member, just stay tight because we will be swapping over. But guys, what a show, man. I feel like this was a really good show. A lot of great conversation that took place here, man. A lot of I feel like we gave Asha a lot of free wins here. You know what I'm saying? I think we given her some W's that she can easily go.
Yes.
And take and move forward with.
A lot of good advice.
Absolutely. I think so. So yes, shout out to everybody who was live in the building for this. Again, members, sit tight. Non-members, you guys are awesome. Thank you for coming through, spending your time with us. Again, if you do want to hang out for the member-only stream and you're not a member, all it takes is our bottom tier. Our lowest tier gets you in for the month. So remember, we do this for every one of our shows. So thank you guys so much. Mr. Kima says, great show tonight. Did you guys cover the Blizzard Entertainment news? Is that the one with the email and that the people are they're afraid of what's coming up? If that's the one you're talking about, we were going to talk about that in There's actually a few topics we're going to talk about in the members only portion of the stream, but I just don't think they're very long. So I think we should be able to hit most of them. But yeah, so there's some of that for sure that we're going to cover in the members only portion of the stream.
Oh, check out Fillmore Pocket's message.
Peace, everyone. Happy July 19th birthday, bro. Be safe, chat. Yo, oh, wait, before you go, we won't be back. We won't be back for the later part of next week. We should be having a show Monday night. Okay. We won't have a Tuesday night. We won't have a Friday night show. We won't have a Thursday night show. The following week, we won't have a Tuesday night show. We won't have a Thursday night show. We won't have a Friday night show. We should have a show on Saturday night. So to be clear, this upcoming Monday, we should have a show. Not the following weekend, but the following weekend after that, that Saturday, we should have this show if Hargeet's good. If not, it'll just be us.
But on Wednesdays.
Oh, but Wednesday shows will be staying in effect. Okay. So Anime After Dark will still go live just with the 3 of them without Mad Dot because we'll be away. But so the next 2 weeks of Anime After Dark will still happen. But as far as this core show, our shows, you get one next week on Monday. So make sure you're there, 8 p.m. Do not forget. And then not that weekend, the following weekend on Saturday, we will be back. We will be away on vacation. We'll go ahead and be celebrating my birthday.
Yes, happy birthday, Fillmore Pocket.
My birthday twin, Fillmore Pockets. We're gonna go in and have a good time. So we'll be away for that. But yeah, we're gonna take a little vacay. We're gonna take a little summer break. It's gonna be fun, and then we'll be back at it like a cracker addict.
Oh,
like a cracker addict.
Not like that.
Well,
No.
There's cracker addicts out there. Shout out to the homie Bounty doing God's work. Look at him over here.
Bunty, thank you so much.
Went ahead and gifted 20 OnPoint for gamer memberships, man. That's very, very kind of you, brother.
Thank you.
Homie. Appreciate you, my dude. Y'all know what to do.
Tell them, baby.
Put the mother effing welcome to the family emoji in the chat. Welcome our newest members, man. We appreciate each and every one of y'all for rocking out with us tonight. And of course, our boy Bounty, man.
Bounty,
very kind of you, brother. Thank you so very, very much, man. I appreciate you. Go ahead in the chat. Show your appreciation for our boy Bounty, man. Very, very cool of him. Very, very cool of him. All right, guys. Listen again. Thank you so much. If you're a member,
the Buster.
The Buster, who gave you guys permission to leave and not have the shows next weekend. Happy birthday, but they come every year.
Thank you, bro. Love you, bro.
Do,
Thank you so much.
Listen, I hope, did you get a membership from this gift? Because that would be perfect. So you can come and hang out for one of the last few times before we go on vacation. But yes, guys, thank you again. Appreciate y'all.
Oh, G-Maybe.
Come on, Buster. We needed the break. Damn, G-Maybe.
Damn.
Wow.
Damn.
Deep I see. Oh, man. All right.
I get it, G-Maybe.
That was so
I get it.
Sweet of you, G-Maybe. Oh, man, I can't believe the sweetness. I can't believe the sweetness. Okay. Well, listen. We're going to swap over. Remember, members, just sit tight. Nothing changes for you. It's just going to happen seamlessly. Non-members, again, thank you all for rocking out with us. And we will catch you in the next one. I got to come over here, do this, do a little bit of that, do a little bit of this, do a little bit of, there we go. Boom, shakalaka, boom, shakalaka. All right, it's happening. Guys, we appreciate you. Thank you for coming through. Remember, Monday's the day. Last time you're going to see us for a while. So definitely come through Monday night. Appreciate y'all. Catch you in the next one. Peace. That was dramatic. That was a dramatic ending. It was a dramatic ending.
That is dramatic. That's when I said get to step it.
Yeah, you did say get to step it after. That was super